Welcome to GOAT James Kingdom, where basketball lives forever. Here in GOAT James Kingdom, we attack the GOAT debate head on, where we challenge all Michael Jordan fans and all LeBron detractors to who is the GOAT of basketball. You can catch us every Sunday noon Eastern Time, right here on the GOAT James Kingdom channel, for the GOAT James Kingdom show with B. Lee and A. Johnny. Also, we go live Friday nights with the Friday Night Exposure with the Exposer, where you catch special shows and content as a GOAT James Kingdom follower and subscriber. Also, check out the GOAT James Kingdom membership, where you can get exclusive content.
The faces of the NBA are LeBron James and Steph Curry. That is it. Those are the faces of the NBA. You know how I know? Because your grandmother knows who they are. Your grandmother does not know largely. Some grandmas know who Nikola Jokic is, and I applaud those grandmas. But a lot of grandmas do not.
My grandma
right?
don't know the Joker.
No? Or SGA? Or any, right?
Yeah.
The face of the NBA is a big, huge deal, and it rarely goes to people. There haven't been that many faces of the NBA, right? You got Bill Russell, you got Magic and Bird, you got Michael, LeBron, you've got Steph. That's maybe it, right?
Kobe kind of once.
Kobe was kind of in there post MJ, in the middle MJ, all of the stuff. So to be the face of the NBA, first of all, you got to win rings, right? Probably multiple rings. You have to have charisma that jumps off the screen personality-wise. Tim Duncan, hell of a player, man. One of the top 10 players of all time, impacted winning to such a degree. He's got a drawer full of rings. Never a face of the NBA. Did not have that kind of charisma and personality. And Shady, you are right. You said it a couple weeks ago to me. You said it has to be a guy that the kids in my neighborhood want to be. It has to be someone that people can relate to, right? It's I want to be like Mike, if I could be like Mike, right? But that means it's usually not a big man. But anyway, any of these guys that he's talking about, they are not the face of the NBA, because the face of the NBA is still someone, as Larry Johnson would say, your grandmama knows. Your grandmama knows Steph and LeBron. And by the way, when they do exit the stage, and it's not going to be this year, it is still going to take a couple years, and that is my experience covering this league. After Michael Jordan left, everyone was like, he's the face of the NBA. He's the face of the NBA. It takes a few years to settle out. We're not going to know right now.
Welcome to GOAT James Kingdom. Welcome. I am A. Johnny the Exposer, and y'all have now been exposed by the Exposer. I appreciate it. And enjoy. I am called A. Johnny the Exposer. You guys are being exposed today.
Your opinion, I guess.
Move on from it. It was the 90s. That's it, bro. Move on from that. You don't know history. You don't know basketball. You just told me I'm stupid. But look how stupid you look, because you don't know
I know all this
basketball. You don't know history. You don't know jamming. You don't know schematics. You don't know coaching. You don't know scouting. You don't know drafting. You don't know nothing from that. Michael Jordan's great because the media said do that, so told you to say that. I know how this recorded, and you are officially being exposed by the Exposer, and you're going to sit there like a man and take this just like Buddy did 2 weeks ago.
Let's get ready to rumble.
Hey, get your numbers out. I had to get my numbers out.
Peace and blessings, y'all. Welcome to another Friday Night Exposure with the Exposer. I'm your host, A. Johnny, the Exposer, one half of the GOAT James Kingdom platform. Thank you for joining me here again on another great Friday night. As y'all know, I do this every Friday night for all of my fans, all of the LeBron fans, all the NBA fans. And tonight's show, again, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be talking basketball. We're going to be talking about the NBA. And obviously, we're going to be talking about Adam Silver, who basically came out and said, man, I'm tired of Zesty Jeffries, man. He said, I'm tired of you casuals trying to talk about the game of basketball. I'm tired of y'all sitting here telling us that we need the face of the league and not of the face of the league. We all know that LeBron James is the most popular player, the most watched player, the most viewed player, the most discussed player. And the reason that is because of Zesty Jeffries. We know LeBron James has a large fan base. That's not the question. So he's going to be discussed anyways. But the fact on top of the matter that he has a large fan base, there's a large sector of you can't even call them basketball fans. They're Zesty Jeffries. Like I said, they're just guys who want to argue the GOAT debate. They want to have the GOAT debate. They don't care about basketball unless it's pertaining to either one, making LeBron James the GOAT, or two, arguing Jordan is the GOAT, or vice versa, or in opposition of either one of those takes. Right? So this is what Adam Silver was discussing about how you guys don't really care about the game of basketball the way you should because you just want to argue about stupid stuff that got nothing to do with the game. We had a beautiful game one yesterday. If anybody watched last night's game, you cannot argue about the brand of basketball, the style of basketball. There was defense, there was physicality, right? There was skill, there was athleticism, there was everything you want to see in a basketball game, right? So this is what we're going to talk about today, about how the league really doesn't need a face of the league, because real basketball fans don't need a face of the league to watch the NBA. And just like Rachel Nichols said, that the only people that are really that make you a face of the league is if some elderly person knows your name or some 8-year-old wants to emulate you. So now we're predicating on whether or not somebody is truly a star or the face of the league, predicated on some elderly person or some adolescent person who has yet to understand life. Like, this is why I said you dudes are zesty just to argue. The league does not need a face. But let's address some of the people that are here in the comments. As usual, we here to do what we do in GOAT James Kingdom. Let's shout out some GJK members. Peace and blessings, Asante. Thank you so much for joining us here. Obviously, Zero's always in the building. Peace and blessings, brother. Thank you for joining us here in GOAT James Kingdom. We're always doing big things here. Yes, we're going to have some fun. Thank you. Yes, this should be a very, very interesting topic. Thank you for joining me here, Ken. Again, thank you to everybody who's watching us on FYF Sports Debate as well. Y'all make sure to subscribe to both channels. In fact, go to FYF Sports Debate Clips channel, subscribe to that channel, and also join the membership over there. Join the membership here in GOAT James Kingdom. Support all of these great content creators like GJK and FYF, because again, ladies and gentlemen, the Zesty Jeffries and their content are going by the wayside. And we're going to discuss this even further, because we're going to talk about how Adam Silver had his press conference with the media right before the finals, and they addressed him on many topics, such as the expansion of the league, the All-Star game. He announced that there was going to be a USA versus the world in the All-Star game next season. He talked about plenty of different things. He talked about the small market idea of both of these teams, the Pacers and the Thunder in the finals. He discussed the stars of the league. He discussed so many great things. So we're going to have a great night discussing everything that we talked about here, everything that he talked about here. But let me address some of y'all in the comments. Shout out to Najee, the chosen one, always repping for the LeBron fan base to the fullest. Shout out to all of y'all. Peace and blessings. Philip, I always see you showing up and representing in the comments. Shout out to Terrain, a GJK member. Blessings, brother. Peace and blessings. And again, thank you for joining us. We're also going live, right, on our IG account as well. So shout out to everybody who's watching us on our Instagram account. Again, ladies and gentlemen, come to our YouTube, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, comment on YouTube, hit up the algorithm. Also, check out our membership. It doesn't hurt to support what you see people do on social media, especially when you're scrolling through your phone or tablet and your laptop throughout a daily basis, spending good time being entertained by people like us. And that's also something else that Adam Silver brought up. He brought up the whole idea, right? He brought up the whole idea about how social media is a big thing, and how the NBA has a very large presence in social media, which we do know that the NBA, out of all the American sports, top American sports, they do have the largest fan base as far as social media following, right? And we also know the NBA also has a good demographic of young viewers as a part of their fan base, right? So the NBA is definitely ahead of the curve. He even talked about how they even talked about starting leagues in Africa, and starting leagues in Europe, and all the expansion beyond just expanding teams in the NBA in the USA. But he was talking about expanding in places like Europe with leagues, right? Because he said they already got leagues in Africa. Like I told y'all, the league is global. But when you're small-minded and tunnel vision like Zesty Jeffries, right? You heard them talk about SGA's tunnel vision, right? Yeah, your tunnel vision. You remember he was trained by Kobe. Remember that? So he has the tunnel vision. Zesty Jeffries got a tunnel vision. They don't see the global aspect of what the NBA is doing. The NBA is global, right? The NBA be doing its thing. Let's see what we got here. Jared says here, hey Johnny, there won't be another solidified face for another 15 to 20 years like LeBron James. You can say that. But again, the league doesn't need it. LeBron has left the league in good hands. The league will not need a face of the NBA for them to keep going with the basketball that they got going on right now, with all the stars that they have in the league right now. I mean, Adam Silver said it best. Let's actually discuss some of the stuff that Adam Silver talked about in his press conference with the media before the NBA finals.
Hey, Adam. Hey. Tanya Ganguly, New York Times. This is a finals with obviously two great teams, maybe historically so, but it's not one with a ton of star power. I'm curious what you think the league can do to raise the profile of some of these great players in smaller markets, and also if you think that's the responsibility of the league.
Well, one, I'm not sure I completely buy into the premise to your question. I mean, I think Shea is an enormous star, Tyrese is a huge star, Pascal. I get it, in fairness, not at the level of some other stars that we've had in this league and maybe not as prominent as some players currently still playing in the league. I would only say that those players, say LeBron and Steph, or Kevin Durant, who are better known nationally and globally than some of these players, they are in those positions because of their success on the floor. I think much less about the size of the market they happen to play in. So it's my expectation that, first of all, whoever comes out of this championship series will rise to the next level almost automatically. But then I think over time, those stars are made on the floor, not by the league office. But having said that, is there more we can do? Absolutely. We've been talking a lot about at the league in terms of what's the best way to promote players going forward. We have enormous presence on social media. We have our new network partners coming in next year who have huge marketing arms, NBC, Peacock, Amazon, of course, ESPN, ABC, Disney. So I think collectively there is more we can do. And there's a lot more competition than there used to be, too. It's harder to break through. There are more resources, more access through social media and other platforms, part of those technological changes I referred to before. But there's also a lot more noise out there, and people have so many other entertainment options, unlimited numbers of channels, YouTube, et cetera, other things they can be doing. So I think we have to up our game as well at the league office to market those players.
All right, so you heard Adam Silver talk about the stars in the league. He didn't want to actually agree with the idea that there wasn't no big stars in the NBA Finals as we speak in today, which he talked about SGA, which is the league MVP, the league scoring champ, right? We're talking about Halliburton, who won an assist title recently. If I'm correct, I think Halliburton has an assist title, who's an all-NBA player, right? They praised John Stockton and Magic Johnson for being these great playmakers. Well, that's what basically a Halliburton is, right? Then they talk about these guys who are supposed to be mid-range assassin, great scorers, efficient scorers, dominating one-on-one ISO matchups like a SGA. Boom, we have that. And you're going to claim there's no stars in the league? You're going to claim there's no stars in the finals, there's no star powers in the finals? And that's what he tried to say. Like, you guys are sitting here trying to compare people to LeBron James. You can't be LeBron James. There's no comparison to LeBron James. You can't be a Stephen Curry. Stephen Curry is a different figure. You can't be a Kevin Durant. You see what I'm saying? But again, those guys were able to grow. Like he said, they had to become who they became through their success. And their success their success wasn't just winning championships. It was also the accolades and all the great statistical feats that they put as well on the basketball court. So it's not just about winning championships. It's about winning league MVPs. It's about winning scoring titles. It's about winning your conference. It's about winning in the playoffs, big moments. These are the things we're seeing from SGA. We're seeing from Halliburton. We're seeing from plenty of stars. Anthony Edwards, from Jalen Brunson. We're seeing it from plenty of stars who are showing up out of nowhere. We just saw Nembhard do something that we were all like, yo, wait a minute. When did Nembhard have this in his bag? When did he could pull this out of his toolbox? Right? But he talked about how the league basically is not interested in y'all just looking for one face when there's so many stars in the league. And not only that, it's so difficult, right, to just focus on one player, making one player the face of the league when somebody could easily go anywhere and be entertained with social media and access to a phone and a smartphone. You don't have to necessarily watch basketball. You don't necessarily have to be watching the star of the league. So he wants to broaden the content so that people can understand and broaden their product so that it's not just about the one player. So you're not just only watching it because one guy is supposedly playing today. You're watching it because there's a great brand of basketball available for you to watch. So he doesn't care about the casuals anymore. He's tuned out the casuals because globally there's enough real basketball fans and NBA fans that he no longer, and the NBA no longer has to cater to Zesty Jeffries and the casuals. And that's why they don't like Adam Silver. He doesn't care to cater to you guys. He'll listen to his real fan base, people who are subscribers to the League Pass, people who are true NBA fans, right? He'll listen to those guys who are investors in the league, people who actually spend money and purchase tickets and go to games. A lot of y'all don't even go to games. The last time you was at an NBA game? When was the last time you said, I'm going to go spend money to go see an NBA game? You see what I'm saying? And don't tell me you went and saw Michael. Michael was expensive as hell back then. He was more expensive than anything else to go see back then. So there's no way you were spending money to see Michael then, and you're not willing to spend the money now. So y'all just, like I said, y'all are the casuals and the Zesty Jeffries that he specifically called out. And he had to go to the right channel too, right? He went to the right channel and called out the right people on the right channel. He went to that silly FS1 show with that bald-headed dude who loves to talk about LeBron James, but he hates LeBron James. But Adam Silver went there and checked them Zesty Jeffries.
That's one thing I really admire about the NFL. I mean, if we were going into a Super Bowl and it was Packers against Steelers, you guys would be celebrating that. Those would be storied franchises. People wouldn't be talking about, the fact that Pittsburgh is a small market. So in fact, I'm happy whatever team ends up in the finals, but it's been intentional from our standpoint to create a system, a collective bargaining agreement that allows more teams to compete. And just by way of background, we're going to have to go through a process of getting to the point where people are accustomed to tuning into the finals because it's the two teams that deserve to be there, and it's the best basketball. Similar to, again, with the Super Bowl, if I asked somebody if they were going to watch the Super Bowl, they wouldn't say who's playing. It's a national holiday. And now that's nirvana.
That's the goal.
I'm not saying we're anywhere close to that yet. There's still, if the Knicks are in the finals, there's a segment of our fan base that's going to watch that may not watch if it's other teams. But my job is to get people to love and follow this game, and so that if you're a huge basketball fan, you should want to tune into the finals because that's the best basketball.
See, you heard what he said. He called him out right there. There's a segment of our fan base who would watch it because the Knicks are there, but ain't gonna watch it because it's the Indiana Pacers and OKC Thunder. It's the quote-unquote small market. And like he said, the NFL doesn't have that issue. The NFL doesn't need a face of the league for the NFL to get people to purchase tickets, season tickets, for y'all to be idiots every Sunday afternoon, getting drunk before high noon just to watch your team get obliterated. Because the majority of you guys' teams don't ever do nothing in the NFL. There's a bunch of you guys that root for teams that never done nothing in a long time in the NFL. They don't need it. They can go it. They can lose a Peyton Manning. They can lose a Tom Brady. They just keep going. They just fill in the spot with whoever's playing the best at the time. That's it. There's no, Patrick Mahomes could never be Tom Brady. He has to get to the 70,000 mark to be past Tom Brady. No, they just appreciate what Patrick Mahomes is doing right now. We just looking at it as is right now. Same thing with Tom Brady when he was doing what his thing is, and Peyton Manning. That's how the NFL has always been. It's always been about the shield. They've never let players dominate and control who and why you watch the game. The Dallas Cowboys used to take their helmets off. They told players you can't take helmets off after celebrations because it's all about the shield. They've always protected the teams, the franchises. Like he said, Green Bay is a small town, but if they go to the Super Bowl, everybody's watching. North Carolina, the Carolina Panthers make the Super Bowl, people are watching. Nobody's saying Carolina's a small market. Nobody wants to see the Carolina Panthers in the Super Bowl. That's all nonsense. And that's what he said that we're doing with the NBA. We're taking the NBA to heights where it doesn't matter what brand of basketball you're seeing good basketball, no matter what night it is, no matter who's playing. You're going to see a superstar. You're going to see fantastic plays. You're going to see hustle. You're going to see grit. You're going to see a strategy. You're going to see everything you want to see in a basketball game. But you, Zesty Jeffries, want to have a face. You want to argue. You only want to do comparisons. Lowe did a great video about this, because there was guys like Nick Wright and some other dude, I forget his name, that was talking nonsense about the NBA Finals, talking about OKC's a horrible team to watch. No one really cares about them. That's just nonsense, because all they want to do is compare players. How do you compare SGA to the annals of history? You can't, because he's only 4 or 5 years, 6 years into his career. How do you do it for Halliburton? You can't. He's only 6, 7, 8 years into his career. You can't. And you guys, you can't just sit in the moment and appreciate it. You want to compare them to the annals of history. That's the only way you guys can talk basketball, is in comparisons. And like I've always said, it is within the GOAT debate. There's nothing about this particular series that can gravitate towards the GOAT debate other than some Kobe Bryant fans trying to attach SGA to Kobe Bryant and then making Halliburton somehow the representative of LeBron James, because it's easy pickings to say OKC's going to win this series. But they were not talking about SGA like this throughout the season and throughout the playoffs. It wasn't until they realized, after he beat Joker, after he beat Anthony Edwards, that is, well, we got no choice but to run with SGA. This is how the Zesty Jeffries operate. And Adam Silver's done with y'all with that. He's done with y'all operating with silliness. Y'all should have been noticed the OKC Thunder. Y'all should have been noticed SGA. Should have been noticed this. Just like Lamont's live earlier, y'all should have been noticed the Indiana Pacers. In fact, I think I had the Indiana Pacers as a top 4 team before the season started, or it definitely one of the better teams in the East. But they started off slow. But he's done with y'all. Adam Silver is done with the Zesty Jeffrey Logics, the Zesty Jeffrey Worlds. He's, like he said, the man said he's in Africa. He ain't even worrying about y'all. The man, again, the NBA is a brilliant company. They're doing a great job. The investments is great, because when they even asked him about expanding, he said, man, some of these owners ain't interested in bringing in nobody in to partake in all of this money we making. Why should we add more partners into this? We doing good, right? There's really no need for that. And he was like, we go to Africa. We're doing games in Africa, leagues in Africa. We're talking about doing a league in Europe to compete with European leagues. He said we're gonna compete with them. They don't got the type of brand of basketball we got over there. We can bring that over there. Then he mentioned how in Africa, that in the next 10 to 15 years, or the next decade or two, that 40% or over 40% of the youth will be in Africa. So he's tapping in to the actual youth, the next generation that ain't gonna know nothing about no grainy ass a tube television of Michael Jordan, when we got to tell them, well, that's Michael Jordan, or that's Magic Johnson. They're not going to be interested in the 1900s. Yeah, I can't call it modern basketball 10, 12 years from now, 15 years from now. So they're not going to be caring about that. And that's who he's trying to gravitate to. Those people. He doesn't want to hear. He's not like what Rachel Nichols says. He doesn't care about the elderly that knows your name because of some reason they know your name because you were on a commercial on a television program that they watched. Or some little kid that's 8, 9 years old that doesn't know nothing about basketball, but because social media is popping, now you want to be like this player. LaMelo Ball is one of the most popular players amongst the youth. Y'all don't care to ever listen to the youth when they tell you LaMelo Ball be balling. Y'all be hating the youth when they tell y'all LaMelo Ball is the next it. Y'all swear he's not the next it. But the youth, they think he's it. You go to anybody that's in their teens, early 20s, they'll tell you LaMelo Ball's that dude. Straight up. Those are just all facts. Here you go, look, they mad again. Mad. They just completely mad. Yeah, we talking about what's going on in the NBA right now. We talking about, Mike? We talking about Adam Silver. We're talking about the face of the league. The fact that people were saying that the NBA Finals were going to be boring. That who really wants to see OKC Thunder versus the Indiana Pacers? Halliburton is not a superstar. He's underrated. SGA. Nobody really cares for SGA style of brand or OKC Thunder brand of basketball. Of course I talk today's game. That's all I do, but y'all can't talk today's game because when I start breaking the game down, like I told you, Anthony Davis wasn't a defensive anchor. He couldn't anchor any top defense. You got all upset and told me I'm a LeBron fan. You're just a LeBron fan. When I talk the game of basketball, y'all don't want to talk the game of basketball. That's why Friday Night Exposure from here on out is only for GOAT James Kingdom members. Y'all can stay safe in the comments and do all of the silly nonsense, but I put the link for today's show in the GOAT James Kingdom member community. And you're more than welcome to come join me as a GOAT James Kingdom member. From here on out, for any one of you guys who want to talk basketball with me on a Friday night, because I created this show to talk basketball with you guys. I'm about to go 100 episodes into this, and y'all ain't nowhere to be found when it comes to talking about basketball. All y'all want to do is challenge my takes, challenge my knowledge, and all you do is get exposed. That's why it's called the Friday Night Exposure. You get exposed by the exposer. That's what I do best. Because I just want to talk basketball. I really do. I just want to talk basketball. I can break down the game like anybody else can. But y'all don't want to talk the game. You just had your boy Wendy say it, that y'all don't care about X's and O's. Y'all are the funniest. I was going to put on my dashiki today. I really was. I was going to put on my dashiki today. I really was. Because I felt good after yesterday's game. Yesterday's game was brilliant. But again, the league does not need a face. And if you telling me that a face of the league is somebody that your grandmama know, or like my son, my little 5-year-old is out here trying to mimic, that becomes the face of the league all of a sudden. Come on, man. With all that we see, with all this basketball going on, come on, man. So let's let Rachel Nichols tell y'all how the face of the league is probably not going to be around for some years, which she's possibly right, but I don't think there's ever going to be a face of the league anyways because Adam Silver doesn't care for it.
The faces of the NBA are LeBron James and Steph Curry. That is it. Those are the faces of the NBA. You know how I know? Because your grandmother knows who they are. Your grandmother does not know largely. Some grandmas know who Nikola Jokic is, and I applaud those grandmas. But a lot of grandmas do not.
My grandma
right?
don't know the Joker.
No? Or SGA? Or any, right?
Yeah.
The face of the NBA is a big, huge deal, and it rarely goes to people. There haven't been that many faces of the NBA, right? You got Bill Russell, you got Magic and Bird, you got Michael, LeBron, you've got Steph. That's maybe it, right?
Kobe kind of once.
Kobe was kind of in there post MJ and the middle MJ, all of the stuff. So to be the face of the NBA, first of all, you got to win rings, right? Probably multiple rings. You have to have charisma that jumps off the screen personality-wise. Tim Duncan, hell of a player, man. One of the top 10 players of all time, impacted winning to such a degree. He's got a drawer full of rings. Never a face of the NBA. Did not have that kind of charisma and personality. And Shady, you are right. You said it a couple weeks ago to me. You said it has to be a guy that the kids in my neighborhood want to be. It has to be someone that people can relate to, right? It's I want to be like Mike, if I could be like Mike, right? But that means it's usually not a big man. But anyway, any of these guys that he's talking about, they are not the face of the NBA because the face of the NBA is still someone, as Larry Johnson would say, your grandmama knows. Your grandmama knows Steph and LeBron. And by the way, when they do exit the stage, and it's not going to be this year, it is still going to take a couple years, and that is my experience covering this league. After Michael Jordan left, everyone was like, he's the face of the NBA. He's the face of the NBA. It takes a few years to settle out. We're not going to know right now.
So, you heard what she said. We're not going to know right now. And she mentioned it like in reality, it's true. The 70s didn't really have a face of the league, right? One of the reasons why the NBA had trouble with popularity early on in its heyday was because their true top two players, right? Their most popular players was Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain, right? Two arrogant black men on the opposite spectrum, right, of the world is that because you have Wilt Chamberlain, who was a conservative. You have Bill Russell, who was kind of liberal, or he was a liberal, right? Right? Very in the forefront of very willing to speak out for whatever they thought and how they felt, right? Very, very, again, black man in the 60s, standing tall, broad shoulders, head up, wasn't something that wasn't America's cup of tea, right? So you had that as your face of the league. That's why the league wasn't really popular during that time. That's why the ABA could pop up. You understand what I'm trying to say? So many different things. They can bring a different brand of basketball to try to steal away from the NBA. And that's why the NBA had to put Jerry West as the logo. Imagine Jerry West was still playing, and they put Jerry West as their logo in 1969. It obviously tells you, hey, listen, guys, we're moving on to something different. It's not about just these big, tall guys. You heard her say it ain't going to be no big guy. And throughout the 70s, there was really no face of the league because Kareem didn't want it. They didn't want to put Kareem there. The league was filled with a bunch of crazy dudes doing whatever they want. It's the middle of the 70s. We're talking about, you know what I'm saying, the disco era, the funk era, the pro-black movement. Guys were just doing all kind of crazy stuff, right? So it was a different league. Then you get into the 80s, you get Magic and you get Bird, right? And that's how the league was supposedly saved because now we really have two guys that could be faces of the league that could attract the grandmamas and the grandpapas and the younger generation, which they completely did that. They completely did that. Then came along a Michael Jordan. Completely changed everything that anybody thought about sports when it comes to an athlete and marketing and branding and all of that shit. That shit skyrocketed beyond it. Man, Jordan took that shit beyond the galaxy, man. Jordan took this shit to the next galaxy. And that's how we got to where we are right now. So she was right about the face of the league. There's not too many people that were the face. After that, it was LeBron. Kobe was never the face. Tim Duncan was too boring to be the face. We can say Shaq was probably the face of the league for a good time because Shaq is known no matter what, right? So we could always say Shaq was the face of the league. I don't know how she dismissed Shaq. So you got Jordan, then Shaq, then LeBron, then Steph, and it's still LeBron to this day and Steph. So who's going to be the next guys? We don't know. We really don't know. It depends on the youth. It really depends on the young crowd that's watching the games now. When I talk to dudes that are in their early 20s, they like a lot of players. There's not one specific player, especially with fantasy sports. They like everybody, bro. They like everybody. That's just what it's about. That's what the game's about, bro. Again, and the game is beautiful, man. I loved yesterday's game. Mike was over here asking silly questions about, let's talk about the finals. Yeah, let's talk about it. I thought it was great. Last night's game was great. Nobody choked. Nobody messed up, right? It was just a brilliant game across the board. Indiana Pacers are the type of team that keep fighting. They keep staying close because they can shoot the ball well. They can get off a shot very quickly, and they can cause disruption on the defensive side. They're not really a great defensive team, but they do a lot on offense that forces teams to basically their offense is a part of their defense. Because once you see them doing what they're doing on offense, you kind of get rattled on the offensive side yourself, thinking that you got to keep up with them. And then you get out of your normalcy and what you normally do. So I thought it was a great ball game. Here we go again. What do Jeffrey got to do with this? Stop it, bro. The Zesty Jeffries got to do with everything. Again, Zesty Jeffries are the biggest fan base in basketball discourse. Why y'all never want to address the elephant in the room? Why am I the only one that points them out? Like, yo, these are the fools that are the problem right here. Them. They're not even here for nothing good. They don't want. All they want to do is be disruptive, disrespectful. They want to argue with other men, call you clowns, stupid. That's all they want to do. You don't know basketball. This all they want to do. They want to make this a one-on-one thing. They want to make it personal. They're zesty as they get, bro. I keep telling y'all that, man. They're zesty as they fucking get, bro. I don't get it. I'm ready to talk the game. Like I said, y'all want to actually talk the game of basketball with me? Super chat. Go ahead with the super chat. I'll answer any question you got. Other than that, we about to bring up GOAT James Kingdom members and talk basketball with GJK members. What's good, Juan boy? Peace and blessings, brother.
Shout out to all the real basketball fans in attendance. You know what I'm saying? To your point, man, we done seen some great basketball, man. And shout out to the small market teams because Milwaukee did it a couple of years. And now they're seeing that you don't have to be in a big market for you to have good teams. You know what I'm saying? Whoever is in the front office of the Indiana Pacers made the right moves. Now you're seeing, they went and got Siakam. Now we see why. They were in the Indiana. Everybody thought it was a fluke last year because, the Knicks was hurt. They beat that same Knicks team while they were healthy, stole 2 at home. So I don't know what narrative everybody's trying to push because if you're watching basketball, you're seeing what's happening. They beat the Knicks at home. These mofos ain't no joke. They coming to play. When people at my job, you know what I'm saying? I was like, what I tell y'all? It was like, man, you was right, man. And then speaking of LaMelo Ball, young boy that I seen, he was walking out of the bathroom at my job. He had some LaMelo Balls on. You know what I mean? The light blue and pink joints. Because that's what the kids like. The kids like the people y'all don't talk about. Y'all talk the Jordan fans, they talk about they don't care about the 90s. Why do you think you guys like sport? I think it's Sports Dubs Only or something like that. He's a youngin'. He be breaking that down. He be breaking that down more than the Jordan fans. Y'all don't know this shit to a science. That's why you can't enjoy what's going on since 2000. It's weak, this, that, and the third. All right, well, why when it's weak? Why You know what I mean? But anyway, I don't even want to go down that road unless they get out of pocket tonight. So, you know what I mean? But yeah, man, we watching great basketball, man. I'm glad that I'm great game last night.
Yeah, it was beautiful, man. It was just beautiful. They don't understand it, man. Let me see here. Shout out to Iron Man, always showing love. Peace and blessings, but he said they can't stand it. Hate their soul that people have Braun as the GOAT. Yeah, they can't stand it. That's why they say their beef is with LeBron fans. It's not LeBron, it's LeBron fans. It's us out here. Because they know it was Michael Jordan's fan base and popularity that is a part of his GOAT status. So if they can strip that from LeBron, then all we have is just silly shit like stats to them, which don't mean nothing. To them, stats don't mean nothing if it don't feel good. If it didn't come along with the popularity that Michael Jordan had and the status that goes along with it. You see what I'm trying to say? So that's the problem that they have. Like I said, it's all about that. Just like Mike. Mike's another one. Mike falls into that trap, just like Herm does and Ace 30 and them do. They may not sit here and act like it, but they fall into it. Just like, you know what? This is actually a perfect show for Herm and Ace 30. Because they're always the ones that tell me that there are LeBron James on the other spectrum of the Zesty Jeffrey side, right? And in certain categories, I heard it. I heard Nick Wright say that OKC's a bad team to watch. Like he literally, he doesn't like watching them play because again, he couldn't find a way to tailor in a narrative on the GOAT debate on how LeBron is. Because in reality, he's just been talking about LeBron for the last 10 years. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So you got a young fan base that's turning that into their 30s that are used to just the GOAT debate as the discourse in basketball, and then they try to separate it and say, well, I'm not really having the GOAT debate, but still talking like the GOAT debate. Just like this here. Halliburton with a few more years of dominance, and if he makes some all-NBA teams and wins the chips and finals MVP, surpasses Nash all time. Like, look at the expectations you have to throw on this man. You're like, but he has this, that. You're making all these combinations just to be safe. Instead of just saying the man made the all-NBA team the past 2 years. The man made, like I said, I think he won an assist title, if I'm correct. I believe he was the assist champ sometime soon. Was it the year before, one of those years? Either way,
he already won it. He already won the assist title.
He's been dominating the game for a while. Like he has been playing good. Like again, when we were praising these other guys like the Brandon Roys, we weren't waiting for them to make no all NBA teams to say, well, this guy could play. LaMarcus Aldridge and all these guys. We were just appreciating their game, bruh. Halliburton is one of the best players in the game. I had him in my top 15 before the season started. Because of his playmaking ability. You can't average 11 assists per game and tell me that's not dominating, bro. Get the hell out of here. But all y'all know is scoring. Scoring. 11 assists per game is dominating. When I tell people 25 rebounds per game is dominant, just like 30 points per game, they laughed at me. Because, again, that's Zesty Jeffrey logic. You like the glamour and glitz. I like the dirt and the grit. There's a difference between us. That's why they don't like me. Cause I'm a real dude. I don't dress up. You ain't walking. I don't need J's to feel cool. I can make my own shit and make it cool because that's what I am. I'm a cool motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
That's why they tune in. Sometimes I think they be playing fake infiltrators. You know what I'm saying? Let me start up some shit so I can get some more basketball. So I can get some more basketball knowledge. But you want to be combative about it. You know what I'm saying? And boy, yeah, I didn't get. Did you catch the press conference yesterday with Rick Carlisle? Because I wanted to see what he was making. Because I wanted to hear what kind of adjustments. I wanted to see what he was doing. Because with how he's been coaching, it's hard not to say like, damn, he's like top five coach in the league today.
It's crazy. Oh my God. We're gonna get to that one, boy, right? Let me just address this. Again, the Zesty Jeffries can't talk basketball. They don't even know what an assist is.
Look, they can't get an assist unless they score the ball.
If you don't score off an assist, you fucked up. Not the person who passed you the ball. If you didn't score off of a perfect pass in a perfect situation to score the basketball, you fucked up. The reason you score is because of the assist. That's why it's called an assist. I made you have that shot.
And one thing the Pacers don't do, the Pacers give it to the hot hand. That's how everybody just started clicking at like in the third and fourth quarter. It was not. You didn't see Holly trying to dominate the way that SGA court had been up to that point to generate offense. No, everybody was getting off, hitting timely buckets. Remember, we was talking about T.J. McConnell's ugly form when he hit that open three. You know, Thomas Bryant came in, hit a timely three. Miles Turner hit one side step three off the bank from the corner. Then Nebhard had SGA dancing out there. Hit a three.
But they really didn't do nothing. They really didn't do nothing. They didn't really do nothing different because
they stopped turning the ball over.
That was one. They stopped turning over the ball. I'm not saying as far as what they did different was like he said at halftime, right? He said we just got to slow down, right? We turn over the ball too much, so let's slow it down because they're forcing us into a lot of mistakes because we're just trying to move too fast. Let's slow down. Let's get into our sets. Let's get our plays because they were getting good shots. Remember, I was saying they were getting good shots and they were missing in the first quarter, right? We were saying they had the jittery. So all they did was starting to make those shots late in the game. And a lot of people were trying to blame OKC Thunder. OKC just missed shots because there was a late 3-pointer that Dort had that was wide open that he missed. Then that was when Naismith hit the 3-pointer and brought it down to 6. Right. Then there was a Jalen Williams 3-pointer that was wide open off of a SGA assist that he missed. Right.
Yeah, because he tried to fake the pass and threw his rhythm off.
But either way, he still missed. He was open. It was perfect. SGA set up the right play. They had the right play call. They had 2 wide open 3 points back-to-back possessions, and they missed.
Yep.
Then Nembhard did what Nembhard did, and it brought it down to 3. And now from there, they like, well, we need a bucket. Who we gonna go to? SGA. And they did. They went up 5. They did. They went to SGA and they got a bucket. But then again, where you gonna get a bucket again? We're gonna go back to SGA. He doesn't get you that bucket, and now. You know what I'm saying? But again, it's just the Pacers still doing what they normally do because they're playing the game the right way. Everybody understand when it's their time. Nobody's trying to outshine nobody.
Yeah, that's what
they're playing perfect team basketball. They understand whose job is to do what when this guy's on the floor or not, and they all do it well. Exactly what Lamont said. For Nembhard to have the confidence to do that,
to take that move and take that shot.
Exactly. That means they talked about it, they saw it, they knew it. They this is nothing new to the Pacers or their fan base.
Remember before he was attacking the paint before he hit that shot.
Nembhard. I never seen nothing like that from Nembhard. That was incredible. That was phenomenal. I like, bro, that move he pulled on SGA was beautiful, bro.
He looked like he was the MVP with that.
Shout out to you, Slum Stack, man. Again, this is the GOAT James Kingdom channel. I'm A. Johnny the Exposer. We do this every Friday night. We don't play games with nobody. On a Friday night, I open up a Friday night because in reality, we have a Sunday afternoon show. Our Sunday show is really our prime and our main show. And if you show up on a Sunday afternoon, you'll see Brandon and I right here on the GOAT James Kingdom channel, right here. And basically, you just subscribe, brother. Hit that like button, comment, check out our GOAT James Kingdom membership, support what we do here. As you can see, we're growing our content. We have a whole slate of shows throughout the week, and we do special content for our GOAT James Kingdom members. Not only that, we drop shorts almost every day, post every day. We're also on Instagram, Facebook, Playback TV, Discord, Twitter, TikTok. GOAT James Kingdom is everywhere, bro. We've been doing this for a while. Go ahead and hit that like button. Appreciate all the love and support for all you guys who's been supporting what we're doing. And like I said, we're going to continue to do this because guess what? Ain't a Zesty Jeffrey out here can stop me, man. I've been asking for a 20v1. Ain't no Zesty Jeffrey wanted. Lamont said it the other day that he was out there talking to all the Zesty Jeffreys that make content. They all said no. They do not want to have a 1-on-1 with me, a 10-on-1 with me, a 20v1 version. They don't want to have none of that. Because I'm the official one. I'm him. There's none like me. There's no one out here that could expose Zesty Jeffreys left and right. This is what I do best. And if you know any Zesty Jeffreys out here, well, send them on their way.
Sorry, bro. Who the hell is this? I'm the type of nigga stand on business, nigga. One man arm against 50, nigga.
Benny. Bring me everyone. What do you mean everyone?
Everyone. Every last one of y'all. Again, if you are a GJK member, right? The link to tonight's show is available there. If you guys want the link to be put in the show chat, you got to just drop a couple of super chats. Give me a couple of super chats, reach my goal for tonight's show. I'll put the show chat. We can have some fun. Other than that, it'll just be me and Juan Boy. And when Twin Man show up and the rest of the GJK members. Then y'all going to say, we really talk basketball then. Y'all, that's what I'm saying.
That's blame Dookie for that. Because when they were supposed to have a one-on-one, he called 5 of his homies. So Johnny gonna roll up with 5 of his homies from now on, and they be even the playing field.
Oh my God, that was so funny. And I told him he needed the help. To be honest with you, I told him he really needed the help. See what I'm saying? They always need the help. They always need the help. Just like this guy right here, the Lord of the Fifth. This guy has like 16 YouTube accounts. Just to argue LeBron James. I didn't bring up LeBron James this whole show. The show has nothing to do with LeBron James. Nothing. This show's about the face of today's NBA. And the sad part about it is that my partner and I, B. Lee, we were arguing about this on last Sunday's show about how the only reason LeBron James is still the face of the league is because of Zesty Jeffries. Like, they're the real reason why every day we have to talk LeBron James, because that's all they want to talk about. They don't want to talk about nothing else. So since you want to talk about LeBron James, let me show you how I expose Zesty Jeffries. Real simple, because I always say y'all safe in the comments. But in reality, y'all just not. I just don't pay attention to y'all in the comments. That's why I tell you y'all safe, because I really don't pay attention to comments. We get thousands of comments. Y'all don't understand. We got 120,000 followers on our Facebook group. We get 500,000 comments within a month, within a 28-day span. Y'all don't understand that. We've gotten as high as over 1 million comments. You guys just don't understand that. We got posts that reached over 1 million people on our Instagram, commenting all the time. We got a post right now going viral because they can't take what we say about Michael Jordan. And all we doing is give y'all the truth about Mike. We don't hate on Mike. We keep telling y'all Mike's one of the greatest players ever played. In reality, well, he's not the greatest player of the 1900s. But let me address this one here. Check this out, one boy. Here, go ahead. He goes here. Hey, Johnny B, address me as Unc. I'm your uncle, nigga. Address me as Unc. Says Unc A. Johnny. LBJ final struggles had depreciated his legacy for years. 6 NBA finals losses, the most in NBA history. 104 playoff losses, the most in NBA history. Again, all doing is showing how great he is. You're mentioning his finals. Whether it's losses or winning, you're still talking about him winning, because it takes winning to be in the finals.
But
it takes winning. It's just that simple.
Didn't Jerry West lose 8 times in the finals?
Yeah.
So LeBron don't got the most. So you come up here spewing lies.
It's not even work. It's Elgin Baylor lost 8 times. Jerry West lost 7 times, if I'm correct. But it don't matter. Who cares how many times you lost in the finals? None of that matters. This is why I said that the people who disrespect winning the most are people who have Michael Jordan as the GOAT.
Yeah, they don't talk about how great the teams were that LeBron lost to. He lost to some great teams.
They just don't understand it.
And like, how you gonna give LeBron so much hate for his losses, but not look at this 2014 Spurs. They won by the biggest margin in finals history. But they want to just, LeBron lost. Never mind that. Never mind, we seen what, Kawhi Leonard growing to where he was, when he was healthy and younger. Never mind how Jason Kidd put in so much work and he finally got his in 2011. Dirk and Jason Terry damn sure deserve one. You know what I'm saying? And then, like, look who he beat to go through his losses, and look who he beat to get his wins. Some of the best competition in NBA history. Some of y'all favorites, y'all Kevin Garnett. Yeah, he sent him home. Sent Paul Pierce home, Ray Allen, Rondo, KD. Spank that. Yeah. So old KC was young, but that young team sent the Lakers home in 5.
The 96 Sonics.
The 96
Sonics. Is that you, Judah? Who can't talk basketball? The worst player in history.
Yeah, man. We still
the funniest.
Speaking of that 96 finals, we still looking for the up and under footage on Frank Bukowski. We going to APB out on Frank Bukowski's up and under game.
That was
thank King Rose speech. It was him. We gonna search it. We gonna find it. We gonna find it.
Yeah. They don't explain nothing about basketball. It's all predicated on whether or not you think LeBron James is suspect or this, that, and the third, just so they can talk to you like this, address you as sus. See? I address you as sus.
Yeah.
Nobody respects you.
With a picture of the Jordans that had his feet bleeding.
Now, remember why I told you why? Hold on, you remember Juan Boy? I told you that Adam Silver addressed them directly, right? And that's why they don't like him, because he doesn't think that whatever they think means anything. They believe how they feel, their sentiment, their thought process means something to the world.
Well, he also has more of a connection with the players. You know what I'm saying? You could tell it when he's calling them up to shake their hands on draft night. You know what I'm saying? He's a younger commissioner. That's what we needed, a younger commissioner. And Adam is, I don't know how old he is, but he's right. He's that old head that, you know what I'm saying, that seems to be cool. He's made all the right moves. I mean, like, you see all the talent balling throughout the league so much that you don't see no back-to-back titles.
Listen, that's what he wants. That's what he wants. He wants, because every year it's difficult to continue to add players on your team because players want to get their money, and if obviously you get high performing players, they're going to get more money. So it's going to be hard to keep it. So shout out to Zero, who's always showing support. Yes, I saw the BP hold debate with A-Weezy Bang. Shout out to A-Weezy Bang and the Bang Nation as well.
He going in on
and I ain't gonna lie, though, it was hard to watch. It was hard to watch because it is exactly what they wanted it to be. Just a yelling match, just screaming and yelling, who could cuss each other out the most. And there was really no real dialogue. It was just them expressing how much they don't like one another and how they think. Because at the end of the day, A-Weezy Bang, you're not going to talk to him that way. He don't really want to address you that way. But I know what A-Weezy Bang is doing because he just say LeBron's GOAT and now you a clown. Now you this. Nobody wants to. How many times are you going to disrespect a grown man for just having his take? But he's just not going to sit there and take it anymore. That's why they're scared of me. That's why, again, you're safe in the comments, bro, because you would never hit the link. You would never send me anywhere where there's a Zesty Jeffrey coalition, right? If there was a Zesty Jeffrey lynch mob, I would show up like Chuck Norris, man, and y'all will all shut up or kick me off the live because I would cook every Zesty Jeffrey you know, including those that think LeBron's the GOAT and have Zesty Jeffrey logic. Because I'm not only here to prove LeBron's the GOAT, I'm also here to prove that basketball is still a great brand. And that's a part of it, because the only way you're going to talk about the NBA the way you talk about it as a bad product is so that you don't establish LeBron as the GOAT. That's why y'all say when he leaves, everything's going to be fine. Because when he leaves, y'all going to pretend the NBA's fine all of a sudden. Now there's nothing wrong with the league. Now the three-pointers are not going to bother you. Now the traveling is not going to bother you. Now the no defense is not going to bother you anymore because LeBron's gone, and now you're going to find a way to praise the NBA, right? You're really going to do that?
Players going to stop flopping, you know?
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah, shout out to all of y'all, man. Again, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I've turned Friday Night Exposure to just a members-only situation. If you are a members of DJK, you can go to our community, you'll get the link, and you can join. I have set up a goal. If you guys reach my super chat goal, which is basically 5 super chats, you put 5 super chats up, then I'll put the link. If not, it'll just be me and Juan Boy, and like I said, until some other guys show up, and then we can end tonight's show, and we can move on. Again, because tomorrow night, we're going to have the Radar Show. We're going to be talking sports. Sunday, we're going to be talking basketball. Then we have Sunday night with the finals game, too. We're going to be doing that live. So we're going to continue to do content here. We're going to continue to talk the game of basketball because we actually can do it. We're not afraid. That's what I told you. I'm not just watching the game because my Miami Heat is playing or LeBron's playing. I'm still watching it because I'm a basketball fan. I like the game of basketball. In reality, I'm an NBA fan because I don't really like the WNBA. I don't like college basketball. I can't really watch international basketball. So the NBA basketball is the only brand of basketball I like to watch. And I watch any game that's on and just watch it while it's on and leave it at is. That's what I do best. And I just watch the games. That's just it. See, look, this is what they want. This dude's in his feelings. Yeah. I'm feeling on your ass, nigga. Pause. And I'm busting that ass because you don't know how to talk the game. You told me it's about how it feels to you. It's a you. There's no way you can feel that way. I feel this way. The heat over. I feel this.
They want to dictate everything. They want to dictate your mood, your feelings, your opinions. Like, oh shit! Yeah,
they want to rile you up and get you to crash out. Say, oh look, you crashed out. We got him to say something crazy. Oh look, he doesn't know how to talk basketball. That's how they think winning a debate works, bro. Again, these were guys. Again, these were guys that again they were in all day classes in school. They were not allowed to go from teacher to teacher, because they were not capable of learning that way, so they had to put them in what they call all-day classes.
And they were socially awkward.
Yes.
They didn't know how to communicate with people.
They
weren't at the cool table. With it.
Yeah, exactly. They went to lunch a half an hour prior to everybody else, right? They got released 15 minutes prior than everybody else, right? They had their own special bus. They got picked last when we played football. Recess time, right? That's why they think they're special.
Yeah, they didn't get. They either didn't get picked, they got picked last because that was the only person left.
No doubt. Shout out to C-Dog, man. Who's always supported us as well. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much. They were in classes with children that probably wore helmets. You know, no disrespect to anybody's child, but they had problems learning. They had problems being associated around other children and socializing with other children. They had difficulties at this, so they had to tailor-made their school education because they couldn't be left behind. Because then the school looks bad if you failing all these kids wearing Michael Jordan sneakers, right? There's got to be something wrong with the school. No, we move them along. We create programs for them and we help them get along. And now they're out into society, arguing about LeBron James online every damn day, every day. What they doing? That's exactly what they doing. All upset. He said 7 kids in the class. 7 kids. There's 7 kids in the class, man. You know what I'm saying? They definitely was in some special classes. The 96 Sonics. Yo,
they don't like 90s basketball for real. They don't even watch it. All the footage they took up that's available for everybody to watch on nobody won't click on. Nobody won't watch that shit.
Sean, you got a great question, Sean. Sean, you got a great question. Hey, Johnny, why don't you start to ignore these guys you despise? I really don't despise them. This is actually fun for me. Like I said, when I first started doing this exposure thing, right? I didn't know when the exposure came out. It was kind of like when you find out you're a werewolf. All of a sudden, like the one night you turned into a werewolf, and then you woke up the next morning and you didn't realize what you did. But then you woke up, you saw all the newspaper clippings of somebody killing Zesty Jeffries. That was me. I blacked out and turned into the exposer. And I started realizing it was necessary because I can't avoid them. As much as I would love to avoid them, I can't. You guys could avoid them. I can't, because I'm not afraid to say LeBron's the GOAT. I'm not afraid to say today's NBA is the greatest NBA I've ever seen. They have a problem with that. And once I say it, then it's on. But from there, I'm always prepared. So yes, it would be nice to just ignore them. I really don't hate them, but you can't. They'll pop up. Again, you can block them. They'll create another account. They're like zombies. They're like roaches.
Yo, that's a fact.
Seems.
Hold
on. Let me finish. He said, seems like you're too engaged. This is what we're doing here, brother. This is what content creation is all about. If I didn't want this engagement, I wouldn't be a content creator. So yes, I'm looking for the engagement. And if the engagement revolves around Zesty Jeffries, which it doesn't matter what you do in basketball, you're going to have a Zesty Jeffrey pop up in your comments with some Zesty Jeffrey logic. They're in your head. Just ignore them completely. No, don't act like they're in your head. What you some big? No, I could recognize that, brother. You listen. A problem doesn't disappear because you don't recognize it's a problem. That's like somebody saying, "Oh, don't recognize racism and you'll never go through racism." Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. You shut the fuck up and go on somewhere else. This ain't the engagement for you, brother. This ain't for you. I'm not running from Zesty Jeffries. These niggas couldn't even pass 8th grade. Why am I running from them? What the fuck? What the fuck am I scared of Zesty Jeffries for? They're not even man enough to touch the microphone, bro. They're not man enough to even talk the game. That's like me running from teenagers because there's a bunch of teenagers around. Like, for real? Nah, I'm 44.
They make it so now they starting to accuse them for making accounts to add to the polls when the votes go down.
Yo. It's like, no, you're right. You run the comment sections of this channel. You guys run the comment sections where nobody reads your comments. You guys write dissertations. Nobody cares.
But what is he saying? We run his channel. You can't even spell right. What you trying to say, man? His spelling is horrible. Dude talk about. Dude was in my comments talking about Holly Berry. I'm like, who the hell is Holly Berry? HOLLYBORY. I'm like, who the hell is that?
Because Holly Berry,
Holly Berry.
Yo, they're the weirdest. Like I said, you could block them. You can run from them. Like I told you,
I blocked the dude on the account the other day. He popped up 2 more times, and the only block I ain't ducking no smoke. I just don't want this. I ain't going back and forth with you over no sense. You know what I'm saying? It ain't that serious. It ain't that personal. And I don't know none of you dudes. We don't know none of you dudes. But the way you acting, you do the way you be acting over somebody you don't know. You think anybody's gonna be around you, kind of guy?
There's a holiday. What holiday you got, Najee? I want to know what holiday you got.
Oh man. Whatever day was when the first Jordan shoe came out. That's their birthday. We got to find out when the first Jordan shoe came out. That's their birthday.
It's that serious, Slum. Trust me, brother. It's that serious. Y'all don't want to see what I done showed y'all how they banned me from talking basketball. How I get restricted on Facebook. You don't even want to see our DMs, bro.
I see. You see mine. I don't, you know.
If I show y'all our DMs, I'm talking about. I got grown men coming to me in the DMs, and I tell them, yo, y'all know how suspect it is to be another grown man entering another grown man's DM because of LeBron James or Michael Jordan. Doesn't even matter.
You pussy, you block me. I'm like, what? Get out.
Never will block you. That's why I told them we don't block them because it hurts them more. No,
shit on there. I ain't on there for that.
Yeah, listen, it hurts them more for me to do what I do. Because see, when I first started doing this social media creating stuff, I wasn't talking sports. I was talking other stuff. I wasn't drawing no attention. Nobody cared about me. I make takes all the time that are personal to me that I know are very unique and different. Nobody was coming in and tuning into what I had to say every week when I was doing the show on different topics, political topics, on entertainment topics. Nobody cared. I got a YouTube channel still running to this day with LeBron James stuff. Nobody runs to that. But as soon as I started talking LeBron James with Brandon on a Sunday afternoon, all of a sudden I became more popular on social media than I've ever been. And that's all because I'm a LeBron fan on top of it. They don't even see me as I can't tell people I'm a Miami Heat fan. I can't tell people I'm a basketball fan. I'm just a LeBron sexual. Like, that's it. Because I have LeBron as the GOAT and I can prove it. I can prove it. That's what makes it even worse. And that's the problem with y'all having. Like, y'all just don't want to accept it. And as time keeps going, especially after LeBron retires, you're going to hear more and more people call LeBron the GOAT. And it's just going to be the same thing until you guys address the Zesty Jeffries, who are the real problems, who don't allow people to call LeBron the GOAT, who don't allow people to praise Anthony Edwards, who don't allow people to praise SGA, who don't allow people to praise today's. Those are the people that are the problem. LeBron fans don't care if you praise today's NBA because we're real NBA fans. We're real basketball fans.
That's a fact.
That's just the facts, bro.
That's a fact. Dude,
we didn't start liking basketball because our grandma turned on NBC on Sunday afternoon waiting for her show to come on. And she was like, oh, we'll watch this for now. Like that's not how we became basketball fans.
Yeah. Became basketball fans of having these conversations with your uncles and your pops and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? On Christmas is Thanksgiving. You know, NBA, Christmas games was always on. You know what I mean? Especially in them 2000s. Especially shout out to the 2000s, man. For real, man.
Look, they mad about a Barbie doll. Look, they really mad about LeBron James having a Barbie doll. They're really mad.
Wow. I mean, Jordan had a Barbie doll. Jordan had one first. I ain't trying to be like mine.
They had Jordan action figures. Nobody bought them shits.
Yeah.
They had Jordan action figures. They had that shit. They had a Jordan cartoon, bro. It was Jordan, Wayne Gretzky, and Bo Jackson. They had his own cartoon.
It's a collectible. Like anybody.
I want to hear that shit, brother. Y'all was out here singing a song to this day.
You know how
trying to be somebody you can't be. Still to this day,
how much that dog gonna be worth in another 20 years unopened? It's a collector's item.
Hey, that's true too. It is a collector's item. That's why I told people. I ain't gonna lie. I went looking for it.
It was only like 70 something dollars.
What? Can you imagine if you got some LeBron memorabilia with that? Yeah, man, that's gonna be worth some money.
Yeah, rookie.
So say what you want. The zestiest of the zestiest. Well, he's not the zestiest of the zestiest, but he's a part of the Zesty Jeffrey Coalition. Sports Fitness. No, not Sports Fitness. Sports Fluent got one. He went out and bought one, claiming he got it from Clutch Media, but we know he went out and bought one.
Too proud to say, one got some.
Oh, that's gonna be great. That you know what? Hey, Twain, you ain't lying about that, bro. When Michael Jordan start praising today's NBA players, when he start praising guys that are Nike guys and Jordan brand guys and stuff like that, y'all gonna know.
Yeah.
Y'all gonna know.
Y'all gonna know. They don't even talk about the Jordan brand guys. They don't talk about Paolo. He's a Jordan brand guy, and he's nice. Y'all don't talk about him. Y'all don't talk about nobody, man. They don't talk about nobody but they talk about LeBron more than they talk about Jordan.
They talk about LeBron's the go. Look, exactly. Here we go again. Let's get Stepper's conversation in here. Stepper says here, hey, I high key agree with you, but I was trying to make a point that people say playoffs are better without LeBron flopping. I don't know how LeBron makes the playoff worse or better, and shit. But numbers show this is the lowest watched in 30 years. See, that's another thing Adam Silver addressed was the ratings, right? He talked about how it's 2025. Entertainment is different. He talked about how in the past, everybody dropped their new shows in fall. Nobody does that anymore. He talked about how you drop a series whenever it's popular. He talked about how Netflix, no one knows Netflix's ratings for any of their shows or movies. But the only reason people go watch it because of social media presence and people are talking about it. We don't know how many people watched the Squid Games. We don't know how many people watched Gilbert Arenas and stuff. We don't really know if any one of those top 10s that you get on your top 10 list are really top 10 as far as most watched for that time. There is no numbers for ratings for Netflix and streaming wise. Because ratings don't matter no more, my friend. Nobody's caring about television ratings. He was even talking about how some of the regional channels that show the NBA games, who carry the NBA games, that some of them are in bankruptcy. Some of them are going out of business. Some of them are just coming out of bankruptcy. And they're struggling. Because, again, probably the only reason people watch those channels is because of the NBA games. But they still have to give you 24/7 programming. And that costs money to run a 24/7 channel. That's why back in the days, people didn't think that shit was going to work. People didn't think ESPN was going to work. When we're talking about the face of the league and how easy it was to get people to watch the NBA compared to getting people to watch it today, bruh, nobody thought MTV would take off. They was like, oh, you're going to have a channel 24 hours a day just watching videos? Who the fuck's going to do that? Who's going to put advertisement on that? Who's going to watch that? MTV blew up. Same shit with SportsCenter. Who's going to be watching sports 24/7? Nobody cares about that. They didn't think nobody was doing that. People was watching Dynasty. The Price is Right. See, I'm old enough to remember this. That's why I told you I'm Unc A. Johnny. I got to tell you what's going on in the 1900s.
And truth be told, before all the sport talk shows, ESPN used to be the jump. Man, that was the best. Back, I'm talking about Stuart Scott, Dan Patrick, and them, man. Like Chris Berman before he retired and came back, like the OGs, man.
Yo, my God. I didn't miss your
Everett.
point, Stepper. I didn't miss your point. And again, y'all want to hit the link. It's always better to have a conversation and read your comment. I can't really understand your comment. You guys really think you guys are Edgar Allan Poe writing shit. That's why I don't like reading comments. It's very easy to take somebody's comments out of context. I don't know what you mean sometimes, but I'm just reading it. And again, remember, you're in a pool full of Zesty Jeffries. So how am I supposed to separate you from them? I just read your comment as it comes, brother. I'm sorry. If I misread it, I'm sorry. But again, at the end of the day, nobody cares about ratings. Nobody cares. The league don't care about ratings. Nobody cares about ratings. Why do you care about ratings? Why do you need ratings to watch the NBA? That proves my point. It shows you Zesty Jeffries don't even know how to operate their phones so that they can go and find the games and watch it. The only way they can watch the game is if they can turn on the TV with a remote, and they still be losing the Amazon remote stick.
Yep. Shit. And if you didn't know one of the tricks, get you a Disney Plus subscription, because that's how I watched the game last night.
It was on Disney Plus again. You keep saying that. I didn't see it on Disney Plus yesterday, bro. I don't know how you keep saying it's on Disney Plus.
Because I got Xfinity, so I'm able to get through my Xfinity account and use it for Disney Plus.
That's what I'm saying, because you already got cable. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, you already got cable.
No, I ain't got cable. I just got the internet. All right, shit, man. Who paying for cable?
Oh, okay. So you saying Zesty Jeffries be capping like a motherfucker? Yeah, they be capping. You're right. Again, it's hard to differentiate, separate y'all from Zesty Jeffrey comments, because when you got guys like Nick Wright saying what he said, and what was that guy that's on the Cal and Cowherd show? He recently said something about LeBron in the GOAT debate that LeBron fans were circulating and making very viral on the internet. Then all of a sudden for him to turn around and say the league needs super teams and blah, 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 blah. Like, no, the league doesn't need super teams. We get it. It's better when we have villains and things like that, the good guy versus the bad guy. But all that drama can be created. You don't have to necessarily have it like that. You see what I'm saying? Like, you just don't. You really don't, bro. Like, again, there's enough drama. Yesterday's game was drama. We all sat there watching that game thinking to ourselves, OKC should be up more. And if they don't do something quickly, the Pacers could come back.
Yeah, what do they mean drama? First of all this drama they be talking about. What more drama can you want when you got division rivals going at it? Boston, New York, Denver, Denver and OKC, Minnesota and OKC, old rivals from the Knicks and Pacers. That's drama.
He's a what's it called? It's not Doug Gottlieb, man. He's an Indian dude, West. I don't want to be insensitive. Middle Eastern of descent, something like that. I don't know. Maybe Pakistani, something like that. But let me get Najee's comment here. Shout out to Najee, man. Always supporting us. This is best content ever in LeBron. We trust GJK. Appreciate that, man. Thank you, bro. Don't let nobody shy you away about anything, bro. Don't let them do scare you, man. Don't get around a bunch of people and make them think that you're wrong, because all of them are wrong. That's what social media has showed me, man, that you can be around a bunch of wrong people. That's like walking up to a bunch of flat earthers and start explaining why the earth is a globe, and they all laughing at you, call you stupid, and now you go back home thinking, damn, I got cooked. Warriors and Rockets was the best. That was a great series. It was very physical. We didn't get a chance to see Stephen Curry the whole series, but it was a very good. No, he did play that series. No, he got injured the next round.
Nah, that definitely wasn't the best series.
No, but it was a good series though. That was one of the best.
Wasn't the best series. I like the Pacers had better series than that.
Yeah, there was a lot of great series though. I mean,
yeah, it was.
I'm not gonna lie, man. Listen, that Knicks and Pacers series was great. That Knicks and Pistons series was great.
Yes.
OKC and Denver was great as well.
Clippers in Denver.
Clippers in Denver was another great. Again, we had some great moments in these playoffs, and I knew it was going to be that way because, again, there was just so much parity in the league. And the reason I say parity is because there's just so much talent across the board, man. There's so many guys that you can just, that can just be effective and impactful in the game, bro. It's like, it's just weird. It's not the same brand of basketball where everybody, you knew what everybody had a role. You know, he was a shooting guard, or he was he coming off the bench, he's gonna be doing this. Like it's like you can be Nimhard and 1 year be something else. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's crazy, like, to think about it. Like there's no longer specific roles that guys are made to do. Everybody can do everything. So you can do so much more on the basketball court. You're not limited as a coach. So you can just I can just see the nightmares of a coach and how much they have to strategize on a night-to-night basis. I can just imagine what Dagenhall was thinking when he said, okay, I'm not going to start Hartenstein this game. And not only that, I'm going to close the lineup or the game with Kaysen Wallace on the floor and Caruso on the floor. Because if I'm correct, it was SGA, Caruso, Dort, Jalen Williams, and Wallace on the floor for that last 3-minute stretch.
Too small.
They were completely small, right?
That's how Siakam was able to get the putback rebounds and all that stuff. I mean,
that's why people were saying they were messing up because they didn't get no rebounds in that particular moment. People here saying the Pistons series, the Knicks and the Pistons series was the best. Yeah, it was definitely, that was really a good series. That I was hoping that was going to go 7, but it didn't.
Yeah, and
he said fitness rants call LeBron fans flat earthers. Yeah, right. We're the scientists. We know the game. They're the ones who talk myth. They're the ones who tell you, well, my eyesight. Well, tell me why I can't see the curvature of the earth. Like, and then you give them the measurements and all the right instruments to show you how the earth has a curvature. They're like, oh, that's just science. That's fake. That's not real. That's how Zesty Jeffries are. Exactly how Zesty Jeffries are.
Yep, the same coming from the man that said that Jordans can make us fly.
He said Jordan made us think that we could fly.
That's exactly
he made us think. He made us, when you was wearing his sneakers, crime stopped. MJ fans are definitely the flat earthers, without a doubt. Without a doubt. He said, I'm a flat earth now. He said, I'm a flat earth now. Oh man. It's hilarious, bro. It's like I said, man, it was just funny to me. And like I said, there was a point in time in my life I avoided basketball conversations in general because I really don't talk basketball with nobody else. I think, like, my homeboys and I, we talk about the Heat. We don't get into the GOAT debate when we talk basketball around my friends and I. We don't do that. Like, we talk about what Miami Heat about to do, who can they get. It's either you're hating on us because we're Heat fans and we're always talking about what the Heat are going to do, or you're a Heat fan and talking about what we're going to do. That's what we do here. That's my basketball discourse. And obviously with my wife, I talk a lot of Knicks basketball because she loves the Knicks. And it gets on my nerves sometimes because, like, I try to talk about her with the finals and she wanted to talk about the Knicks. And I was like, I don't want to talk about the Knicks. Like, it's over. They lost. Let's move on. The Knicks fans can't help it. They lost their coach. They're already on to next season. Like, I'm not on to next season. Anybody who's already talking off-season talk, you're horrible. The finals are on. The finals. I don't care what any team is doing in the offseason right now. I need to know who's going to win the NBA finals. I need to see who's going to pull out one of the greatest performances of all time, which is, like y'all said, the biggest stage. Y'all claim this is the biggest stage, but y'all don't want to watch it?
Now come game 2. What if Indiana comes out in game 2, how they came out in the second half? Do you think they'll be able to keep the turnovers down, continue to stay aggressive and attack the rack? Because they didn't stop trying to score in the paint and just start chucking up threes. They was getting to it, you know what I'm saying, hitting the boards, and everybody. And the thing is, you just said something that about the coach. You just said something about Carlisle to the point where he ain't got no limitations or something on that borderline.
Yeah.
Coach
and coaches in general, most teams don't really have too much limitations as far as what they can do. They have like I said, they have a bunch of players that could do so much,
Yeah.
bro. A lot of teams, bro. A lot of teams have a lot of players.
And they don't, like you said, they don't try to outshine each other. That's how you play team basketball. The Pacers, if everybody in the NBA play like the Pacers play, that's exciting basketball, man.
Yeah, it's great basketball, but to answer, but to answer your questions, I do think the Pacers are going to clean up some of their mistakes. Because some of them were some silly mistakes. They had a couple of travel calls, right, picking up their dribbles too early. A couple of times they passed the ball and got backcourt violations because of picking up your dribble early, right? We know Toppin did it once and stuff like that. So I think they'll clean up some of that by realizing, okay, these guys are active. Their hands are everywhere. You got to watch them. So when you're running up the floor, they can come from behind. You got to keep your head on the swivel. So I think they're going to do a better job protecting the ball. But OKC is still great at causing turnovers. So I still see OKC causing the turnovers. So we'll see how that works as far as them protecting the ball, as far as Indiana protecting the ball, and how good OKC can cause those turnovers, but not only cause those turnovers, but turn those turnovers into easy points on the other side. So that's going to be a good thing we're going to watch. But I do think they're going to protect the ball a little bit better. Another thing I think is that as great as Indiana's defense was, there was some shots that OKC normally makes that they just didn't make, that just didn't fall for them, right? So I do think the OKC Thunder could play better offensively and are going to play better offensively in Game 2. But I'm wondering how much better can they play defensively? I mean, they played like the best defense we probably could ever see them play. Or if not, can they? That's the whole point.
Yeah,
do they have another notch defensively than what they had in Game 1?
But playing that hard defense, and remember, didn't they shoot like below 40% in the first half? OKC.
Yeah, they done shot under 40% for the game, I think, as well. I think they shot 39.8 for the
not
game.
only on top of that, the type of pace that Indiana play, that is going to run most teams out of the building if they're not able to keep up physically. So maybe it could have been a bit of fatigue because the way they played defense in the first half, maybe they were a little bit gassed in the second half. That could be a possibility.
No, I don't think they were gassed.
They was on it defensively.
I don't think they were gassed. I think they had a good lead. They had some good plays. They got some good shots. No, they did though, because they missed some easy shots. They missed some wide open 3-pointers that they called great plays to get. They made some good calls. It just didn't work out for them. So I don't think they played bad offensively. I don't think SGA had problems creating plays where they. I think they just the plays where they could have got. I think there was about 5 or 6 shots where they could have got that would have been from assists. I think there was a pick and roll where they get the Chet missed it right underneath the basket, right? So that's an assist that can be taken away. So there was some, like I said, there was some easy shots that they missed that they probably not going to miss. So again, I don't think that they're going to be trouble offensively. I think they're going to get better offensively. But again, the question is can OKC Thunder match their defensive intensity from Game 1 or take it to another level? If not, I can see them losing Game 2 and Indiana actually just dominating the whole game, to be honest with you. So it's gonna be a great Game 2. I can't wait. Join us Sunday night because we will be doing that here on the GOAT James Kingdom platform. I will be doing the play-by-play here, and it's gonna be fun, man. We're gonna have a great time doing it, man. I really can't wait to. I really can't wait for it, man. It's gonna be fun, man. Let me get to address Herm. Herm said bum talk. We know Herm is out here is the opposite of the Wall Street Brandon. He's just gonna say every take is trash. 49 shots between Shea and J-Dubs. That's too much. Really? Well, didn't Shea take 30 shots? That's not how much. Who else do you want to shoot? Who else do you want to shoot the ball? The link is available to you, Herm. I see you got your badge. Shout out to Herm. GJK member. I know Herm be hiding his GJK badge when he goes in them ticket TV circuits. Yeah, Shea took 30 shots. I don't think he was playing out of his game. Again, you know what? Since we got some time, we got nothing but time.
He didn't get to the free throw line, you know what I mean? He didn't get to they played great defense. They kept him off the line. So he's probably going to shoot more shots if he's shooting less free throws. You talk about bum talk.
Yeah. Yeah, but see, that was a key thing too. They did do a good job defending to the point to where they weren't fouling, right? So that was a key thing as well. They actually did a good job there with that. But let's go look at where's the season stats. Oh, where is it? Let's give me the stats here. Let's go to the summary, and we can get to the stats because I want to go down to the fourth quarter and break down that fourth quarter where it was like 3 minutes left to go, and everybody was just saying what they were saying. So let's go to the fourth quarter here. Let's bring this up here. All right, so let's see here. All right, so about 3 minutes left to go. Here we go. Let's bring this up. Let's have some fun with y'all, man. Shout out to everybody. Again, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Don't be afraid to be a GOAT James Kingdom member because, again, you'll have access to stuff like this on a Friday night. Again, I'm only opening up Friday nights for GOAT James Kingdom members unless y'all put some super chats up because I'm not going to sit and argue with y'all just for the sake of arguing with y'all. If y'all not man enough to talk the game of basketball with me, then I don't got nothing else to say to you. Let's bring up Herm. Herm's in the building. Shout out to Hollywood Herm. What's good, Herm?
I think sometimes Shea kind of fell into it a little bit early, especially early in the game, to where it was so easy. That's why he kept being aggressive, kept attacking because it was too easy. He know Indiana can't stop him, but when you know that, when you know you can't get stopped, now you just got to figure out, all right, how can I keep my other guys in tune? Cause Chet, he needs to get going. If OKC want to be successful, Chet need to be out there on the court because he's great defensively and protected the rim. He can also score the ball. Him only playing under 25 minutes, that's unusual for Chet, but it's because Chet wasn't in rhythm. So SGA got to realize, I know I could get mine at any given day. So let's try to get Chet going early. Like I should see the first 3 plays in game running through Chet just to see we can get him going. I think that need to be the emphasis. If OKC need to make an adjustment, start Alex Caruso, start him at point guard. Let SGA play at the 2, and let SGA play more off ball so guys can. It's not all about other guys getting shots. It's just all about them just touching the ball, being in rhythm, just being involved in the offense. They ain't got to shoot the ball to be involved in the offense. So Shea just gotta realize, I know it's so damn easy for me. Now I just need to emphasize making sure my guys are ready at all times, making sure they involved. So when I do need them, like he needed them at the end of the game, in that fourth quarter, especially when they start storming back, they'll be there. They'll be there for him. So I think that's something they got to do. Indiana's not gonna play that bad anymore. They're not gonna turn over the ball as much. People gotta realize they got a veteran coach that's been through that. Rick Carlisle is the better coach between the two in this series. He's going to make his adjustments to the type of ball pressure OKC was putting on them. So he gonna make his adjustments. They got guys with championship experience. Siakam got the championship experience. So of course he gonna bring his experience to the table. I think Indiana gonna be way more prepared in this game too. I think Indiana gonna upset them. I said Indiana for 6 before the series started. So
I know. Me and you were one of the 2 people I heard that said that Indiana was going to win in 6 because I had them in 6 as well. Obviously for other reasons, but you know me. If I think a team's going to win, I'm going to give you how they're going to win. I'm not just going to say, oh, they just going to win. I'm going to give you some basketball tidbits about what they do and what they would have to do to win and avoid losing. But I can hear what you're saying. I haven't heard nobody say what you said, Herm, about him like getting them involved earlier in the game. But it's hard to say he wasn't because you remember Lou Dort was, in reality, Lou Dort was the player of the game. Lou Dort hit some crucial 3-pointers early on, and he was still on fire.
Got a key block.
Yeah, he had that. Yeah, he had that key block late in the game.
But y'all know OKC is unstoppable though. When Chet is solid, when Chet getting 15 plus points, they really unstoppable when he's involved. I think when he took those 12 shots in the first quarter, and what I was seeing, it wasn't bad, but at the same time, I kind of see what Indiana kind of doing is like we know we can't stop that man regardless. So if all fails, We gonna take out somebody else important. And if SGA want to keep being aggressive, want to take most of the load, we cool with that. Long
Yeah,
the
we gonna
folks
we gonna let Dort shoot. He gotta hit it.
Yeah, he gotta hit it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, no, yeah, we know teams do that. Teams leave Dort because they don't think he's that effective of a 3-point shooter. But if we look at it right here, right, like with 4 minutes to go right here, Chet missed that layup that I was talking about. The driving layup, remember I was saying that was set up. So let's kind of look at that play right quick. So we got some time. Like I said, we got nothing but time. Let's look at it right quick.
And he missed the layup
while we have
on the break with Miles Turner on him.
Yeah, he missed.
But he was just
so
out
here,
of rhythm the whole game.
Right also, no, this was the one where he took it.
That's the one he missed.
He took it coast to coast, and he missed it at the rim. So yeah, this is the one where he. Yeah, this is him. Yeah, this is him going coast to coast. So this is the one where he missed it right there at the rim. Okay, so this is the shot that he missed. This was at 4 minutes, and as you can see, they're only up 4 at this point, right? So he misses that shot, right? So let's go back a little bit. Let's get back to the fourth quarter. So he misses that at 4:39. Then you get a rebound by Siakam. Then you get a missed shot by Turner. Then you get a rebound by Caruso, and then you get a layup by SGA, right? So they go up 6 points, right? Then you get a missed 3-pointer from Halliburton. You get a rebound from Jalen Williams. You get a foul. Then SGA goes to the free throw line, right? So here, this is where they take out Chet, right? This is what you were talking about right here, Herm, about Chet not being, I guess I don't know why they kind of took him out. I'm thinking they did it for defensive purposes. I don't think they were worrying about their offense because they were going to go to SGA, basically. This is the last 3 minutes. We're going to go to SGA. So that's what I'm thinking. So you get the 2 free throws. You're up 8. You're up 106-98. Halliburton misses the shot. They get a rebound. You foul them. They go to the free throw line. Siakam makes one of the 2 free throws. I remember that one there. Then Halliburton fouls again. SGA goes to the free throw line. And this is where things got crazy because now you're up 7, right? 108. Oh, no, you're up 9, 108-99. And then this dude hits the 3-pointer, Naismith. But this is the play that I was talking about here where SGA sets up Jalen Williams. So let's look at this play right quick. So this is the play where he sets up Jalen Williams, right? So y'all can see this?
Yeah.
Are y'all there?
Yeah,
I hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay, I just want to make sure y'all can see it because I'm on the other screen, so I can't see it right now. So let me see. All right, so here we got SGA, right? They about to set the screen with Jalen Williams, right? So they can, I guess, get the switch to top and could stick him. So here we go. Oh, that's what Lou Dort. Look, he makes the right play. Look, wide open. He found the wide open man.
He gonna fake the pass. Watch him fake the pass.
No, he didn't fake the pass. He makes the right pass. He makes the right pass.
So Williams is going to fake the pass. He's watch him fake the pass before he shoots.
Yeah, he has the turn.
Okay, so
that's what I'm saying.
Okay, so he faked the pass, but he still missed it. But that's still a good shot because he kind of faked it to get it open, but still, I guess you could say that took him out of his rhythm, right? Yeah. But again, we're talking about what SGA is doing, right? SGA made the right play because look how he look right here. Look, there everybody crashes. What, you want him to pull up from there? That's the Kobe shot that they want him to do. First of all, he got Caruso. He got 3 guys open. And in reality,
around him.
But the right pass is Williams. 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 So Williams is there, and he just missed that.
Yep.
So that right there was a crucial.
Yep.
That was crucial. Yeah. So that was a crucial missed 3 right there because right after that we get the Nembhard 3-pointer. And then we get the Lou Dort 3-pointer, which was also another great play by SGA. So let me bring that one up. And I guess this is what Meltdown Sports be talking about, that you can't be making the right play. You just got to take your shot, right? So they do the same play. They do the same motion, right? Same situation. They just do it now with Kasem Wallace because they wanted to put Halliburton on SGA. So in reality, they're probably looking for SGA to score here. So let's see what happens. So boom, the pass there. Oh, boom, look, wide open Dort. Dort's wide open. He has to make that. He misses it. They don't get the rebound. And that right there was 2. Those are 2 wide open plays. And those are 2 plays SGA makes the right play. Then from there, they just say, fuck it, we're going to go with SGA. We're just going to do all SGA.
But if you Indiana, you live with Lou Dort. If Lou Dort beats me,
Yeah,
you just got to shake his hand. You got to shake his hand.
Here, let's go to another. Here goes another missed shot, right? This is another shot that they could have took. This one was at the rim. There, look, this one right here, look. Same action. This time SGA says, fuck it, I'm going to take it all the way. And this was Siakam's block. That's what this was. This was Siakam blocking the shot. So this is what SGA says, fuck it, look, they try to hedge it. They double him. He doesn't make the pass. He says, fuck it, I'm going all the way. Great block.
They got the
great
block
defense.
And the rebound.
That's just great defense. Which y'all say players don't play. And that's them. And that's Siakam. That's not even Miles Turner on the floor.
Did Miles Turner foul?
I don't even think Miles Turner was on the floor that time.
Nah, he wasn't.
Oh, wait, matter of fact, was Miles Turner even on the floor then?
I don't think so. Nah, I ain't seen him.
Oh, wait, let's go look at that again. Was Miles? Maybe that's why. Maybe that's okay. Maybe okay. Oh, that's why he took off. What's his name?
Oh, took Chet out the game.
That's why, because they took Miles Turner off the floor.
See that? Then we just peeped that. See, with Carlisle, we're gonna take Miles out. We're gonna take Miles off the floor. Let's see if they take Chet off the floor.
Okay, let's see when they when did they take Miles Turner off the floor? Let's see here.
Look at how many minutes Miles
When did they
Turner
take
played.
Miles Turner?
That can
Siakam for Toppin.
But Toppin was playing good too, though. So that was one reason too.
Turner did too.
No, okay, yeah. So Turner, yeah, Turner was in at 420. He missed a 3-point shot there.
Mm-hmm.
Then okay, so that's when they brought in. Okay, so right after Chet got taken off the floor, that's when he took out Turner and they brought back in Siakam.
Yep.
And both teams ran with a small lineup then. Oh wow.
That was a boss move.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's little nuggets.
That was a boss move.
It's little nuggets like that. It's little nuggets like that I feel like Indiana gonna win, bro. Like Carlisle, he ain't gonna make too many mistakes.
I keep mentioning him, man. Like he been there before.
Yeah.
He making adjustments on the fly. You know what I'm saying? Like I know he in there barking on them in the huddles. Hey, take care of the goddamn ball.
And I'm telling you now, the thing with Indiana, Toppin played good last game. It's gonna be somebody else go off this game. It's gonna be a different role player that's gonna go the hell off. Like McConnell actually shot well in that game too.
Yeah, he gave him like 7 on 3 or 3 shoots.
Yeah, he actually kept them in it like in the first half and striking distance. Like we can make a run later on if we hang in there type of thing. Because he was hitting some big shots in that first half. So Indiana role players, man, Naismith may go off for 25 next game. That's just the crazy stuff that Indiana has going on. And Rick Carlisle,
yeah, because they just play the game that you give them. They just play the game that you give them. That's it.
Yeah, and he give everybody the green light. If you open shoot, the Thomas Bryant hit a 3 in the corner.
Yeah.
If you open shoot.
Yeah, that again, that Nimhard 3-pointer was definitely big. And again, OKC just didn't execute at the end of the game, which is unfamiliar of them. So again, it's going to be a great game too. I see both coaches adjusting well. I just don't see how OKC could play better defense than what they did game 1, bro. Like they were just all over the place. They were all over the paces, bro. Like pause. Like they really were. They were doing everything, bro. It was such a great the defensive performance by the OKC Thunder yesterday. It really was.
In that first half, yeah.
They did a great job, bro. So again, this is what the Pacers do. And when I don't know whose show I was on. Oh, I was on Al and Pal's show. Shout out to Al and Pal's show on Wednesday, and I was telling him about how that because there is not one person to focus on with Indiana Pacers, it makes it hard to decide what you're going to do with them. Because, like you said, any given night it could be someone else. So you don't really know what to do. You just know that everybody can do something. And when you have all of those guys who can do something, you have to be on your P's and Q's. You cannot let up. You really have to play good basketball for all 48 minutes.
And they're literally playing 5 and out the whole game. So it's like, damn, what? It's hard when it's so much space Indiana has because they playing 5 and out no matter who they got in there. No matter who's in the game, they 5 and out. So it's just hard. It's just hard to prepare for that.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it up to the two brothers here who are GOAT James Kingdom members who pay for the opportunity to come up here. Should I put the link in the chat for Jared, guys?
Yeah, let them come up, man. Let them come up.
All right. Herm say you can come up. We're gonna let you come up. We're gonna let y'all come up. I'll put the link in the chat for y'all. Since now we're talking basketball, I guess now y'all want to show up. Let's see if we're gonna talk the game of basketball, or y'all gonna try to challenge my knowledge and get exposed by the exposer.
Yeah,
someone Bob's gonna say, well, it's a simple fix. All OKC got to do is hit shots. Well, you got to keep it in account. Indiana was missing a lot of shots too. They were missing a lot of good looks too.
Yeah,
so they got to keep that in mind.
They had 19 turnovers in the first half.
Exactly.
They didn't get to shoot at all.
So they ain't gonna do that again. They ain't gonna do that in the half again.
No.
Exactly.
So they only had 5 in the second half.
Yep.
What's good, Jared, man? Thank you for joining, man. What's good, brother?
Can you hear me, Johnny?
Yeah, we can hear you, bro. What's good, man? The mic is yours. It's hot. Go ahead.
Okay, so I will say this about the Pacers and the Thunder game 1. Like, I think a lot of people in the media are still surprised about this Pacers team, and I don't think they should be. Like, this is a team that basically the whole playoffs has shown that they just will never give up, Johnny. Like, you literally have to outplay them for the whole 48 minutes. Like, it's not enough to just outplay them for 47 minutes. Like, they're just that team that just you can never say die with this team, Johnny. This is one of the more special ones I think we'll ever see, Johnny. Like, what you think?
No, I agree with you. Listen, if they pull this off, both scenarios would be historic. The OKC Thunder season, if they pull this off and win, it's going to be historical. And if the Pacers pull this off, it's definitely going to be historic. I mean, how can it not be, bro? This is crazy what they're doing. I mean,
definitely would be good for basketball if the Pacers win because Indiana.
Yeah, because the Pacers are really overdue.
Yeah,
the Pacers are overdue for one, bro.
The state of Indiana hasn't won anything since Bobby Knight.
And that'll mean a lot to Indiana because that's like one of the hardest.
That's a basketball.
That is
basketball state. I
mean,
yeah, it is. Yeah. Basketball is big there. I got you. Listen, how old are you, Jared? How old are you again?
So I just turned 31, Johnny.
Okay, 31. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. So for your age bracket and the amount of basketball you've been able to watch and you've been able to understand, yeah, bro, this is definitely great basketball, bro. I mean, you've seen some great finals yourself. You've seen 2016, 2000. The 2021 finals was great too. I know a lot of people don't talk about it too much. I know Lowe mentioned it recently on one of his shows about how great that Giannis and Suns matchup was, and there were some great moments there. Obviously, 2013. 2011, you had a chance to see all of that. So yeah, this is going to be up there with that because I don't see either one of these teams winning in 5. So it's going to be a great series.
No. Well, and here's the unfortunate part though, and it's not unfortunate in like a bad way. It's just like something we can't control. So I watched a couple of the YouTube videos concerning that game 1, and there were trolls in the comment section, Johnny, because you'll probably know there's always trolls. And there are some people that took this as the opportunity to go at LeBron, and I'm being dead serious. You go and check the comment section. People have mentioned the fact that like Halliburton has already hit a game winner in the finals, and they have gone at LeBron. And it's unfortunate because essentially really it has nothing to do with LeBron, but I mean, that's just what's going to happen. Like you're just going to have a couple people that are just making about. No, I'm being dead serious, Johnny. Like if you go look at the comment sections, there are people that actually Judah, one of our like good fans in the comments, he's one of the people who actually troll LeBron, and I don't understand. Can somebody explain to me like why Judah doesn't like LeBron? Like, can somebody explain that to me?
Because his high school days was praising Kobe and he's still trying to relive it. That's really it. He's just trying to relive his high school years. That was the greatest time of their life. They didn't have to pay bills. They didn't have child support.
Everybody get trolled, man. Everybody, all the players get trolled.
I understand, but it's the finals, Herm. Like this has nothing to do with LeBron. Like, hey, I don't know that.
He said, bankroll reset. Ask him for what? All he's gonna do is say some silly shit like this. Look, 31. Damn, you're a baby. See what I'm saying? Like they can't help themselves. They got to talk about other people. That's why they have to talk about LeBron, because it's easy to make fun of LeBron. It's a low hanging fruit, like LeBron would say. Huh?
Yeah, but
it's the finals, it's the finals. Like we.
It's the finals.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Hey, y'all keep cooking. Y'all keep cooking. I gotta go to a meeting at work, but y'all keep cooking, man. I'm still be listening.
Hey,
to you, Herm.
Hey, make sure she gets your money right, Herm. Herm go out here talking about he got a meeting at 9:00 at night. Man, shout out to Herm, man.
I'm at work, man. I'm at work.
I got you, but I know, brother. I know you do your thing, brother. We got it. I'm gonna play. Yeah, appreciate you, Herm, man. Appreciate you, Herm. Hey, listen, I'm gonna play it to you. It's as simple as this, JT. That there's just a sector of this NBA fan base that just doesn't like the basketball. They just want to argue for the GOAT debate. And at the end of the day, if you're a real NBA fan, you should like basketball. And this is what what Adam Silver let all the Zesty Jeffrey know on their favorite Zesty Jeffrey channel. This is the only Zesty Jeffrey show that's available now on television is this one here. I don't even know what it's called, but I know the guy's name is Carlton. I think that's what his name is, Carlton. Either way, he's a fool. He's an idiot. He's a Zesty Jeffrey, and Adam Silver checked him.
It's one thing I really admire about the NFL. I mean, if we were going into a Super Bowl and it was Packers against Steelers, you guys would be celebrating that. Those would be storied franchises. People wouldn't be talking about, the fact that Pittsburgh is a small market. So in fact, I'm happy whatever team ends up in the finals, but it's been intentional from our standpoint to create a system, a collective bargaining agreement that allows more teams to compete. And just by way of background, we're going to have to go through a process of getting to the point where people are accustomed to tuning into the finals because it's the two teams that deserve to be there and it's the best basketball. Similar to, again, with the Super Bowl, if I asked somebody if they were going to watch the Super Bowl, they wouldn't say who's playing. It's a national holiday. And now that's nirvana.
That's the goal.
I'm not saying we're anywhere close to that yet. There's still, if the Knicks are in the finals, there's a segment of our fan base that's going to watch that may not watch if it's other teams. But my job is to get people to love and follow this game. And so that if you're a huge basketball fan, you should want to tune into the finals because that's the best basketball.
Yeah, Pittsburgh is a small market. Pittsburgh's a very small market. How many people live in Pittsburgh? It's a small market. The Steelers, it's like he said, an historic franchise.
Really like a huge market.
No, it's not a big market. It's a small market. Green Bay is definitely not a big market. These are small markets in cities.
First of all, they're a small market and it's cold out there. Nobody want to play in Pittsburgh and Green Bay. Nobody want to play when it's cold.
I mean,
but NFL fans don't care. They show up. They'll be at a football game with no shirt on with 30-degree weather. They don't care.
Yeah,
They're football fans. They like their teams. They like football. They're football fans. That's it. They don't care who's showing up on what Sunday. They're watching football. That's just it.
Yeah.
Because football is a good sport and the game is good to them. I think it sucks. That's why I don't watch it. But so a football fan is great.
But hey, Johnny, though, my question is, like, why are we having a GOAT debate during the NBA Finals? Like, I don't understand. Like,
let me answer that for you.
Because LeBron James was in 10 finals in the last 20 of them.
So used to them being in the finals, they got to talk about them in the finals.
I mean, but like, really, like, but again, I get it. But like, it's not like sincere though. Like the conversation about LeBron is not. Like, I get what you're saying. Like, it would be different if they were, like, talking about him, like, in a positive way. But, like, when his name is getting brought up, it's not a positive way at all. It's literally, like, Halliburton is literally getting used as, like, fodder against LeBron, which makes no sense to me. Like I
Yeah,
don't
because they
understand. Like that
upset. They're
doesn't.
hurt because they hurt because they really wanted to see SGA hit that. The Halliburton hit it. It's like, oh, well, LeBron can't be him. LeBron's never done that. Like LeBron's hit more game winners in the playoffs than anybody in NBA history.
I mean,
They
but
keep bringing up
that's
he hit
insane, though,
more
But
game
Johnny.
winners.
they're always talking about scoring. LeBron does everything:
I mean, but
defense,
it's
scoring,
just
assists. Like, come on, like, look at and
no.
that's why you don't see
No,
all
you're
of these
preaching to the
type of
choir, but
moments
it's.
from people they
Oh,
expect
go
to
ahead.
be
Sorry.
scoring all the time.
I mean, but
Again,
it's
I told
insane,
you, Jared. The
Rumble.
problem is, Jared. The real problem is that we have yet to rectify the GOAT debate. And what I mean by rectify the GOAT debate is establish the true standard for what is the GOAT. No more of this, oh, it
No, that's
depends on
true.
what your criteria is. No, 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 no. There has to be a set standard so that the next guy who surpasses LeBron can be the GOAT. That's it. That we have to do this because that's the problem. The problem is that we have allowed people to say there are two valid points in this argument. The people who think Michael Jordan's the GOAT have a valid reason, which we know no they don't. The people who think LeBron James is the GOAT have a valid reasons, which we all do. We do because of his records, his achievements, everything he's done.
And all of that started from high school.
And that's what they don't understand.
They're
So when
saying he's still the
they
greatest
want us,
high school
they
player
want us
ever.
to say that we are equivalent to a bunch of people who created lies, myths, and legends.
Facts, we saw this shit. We saw this
For
shit.
people who that's what I'm saying. We're no longer kids anymore. We're not the old person
Yo,
who sat on their couch and believed every story that happened in the
word,
news and everything that
word,
went on NBC. And we're not the little
preach.
kids anymore that wanted to dunk the basketball when we were 10, 12 years old. We're grown men now. We
Right.
got
Yeah.
I
bills
feel
to
you.
pay. We have to make
We just
rational
got fam
decisions.
word.
Yeah. And we can't make a rational basketball decisions because of feelings. And then they tell you, well, you're in your feelings. And then it becomes, well, who's in their feelings the most? Ooh, you got the cooties. Again, these niggas, I'm telling you, these niggas were special ed students.
I get what you're saying. I just think the thing is though, what's really unfortunate is it doesn't help anybody because essentially when you're using again, it's idiotic. But like you use a Halliburton game winner to go at LeBron, really. That's why I saw like phony though, bro. It's not like praising Halliburton.
No, that's
It's
what you
literally
gotta do
just
when
meant
they
to
do
just
that.
go at
This what I'm
LeBron.
saying. This is what you gotta do, Jerry. You gotta be like, well, to be honest with you, if that's the case, I ain't never seen Jordan hit no game winner without no All-Star like Halliburton's doing. How about that?
Oh yeah,
No All
that is
NBA,
fair
All
though. I
Defensive
actually
player
I actually
like
didn't think about that, Johnny.
They went after LeBron because Halliburton has already erased a lot of the legends of the '90s that didn't do shit. Like, where's Ewing's game winner in the finals? Where's the '96 Sonics game winners in the finals? This nigga's making history. These niggas are butthurt, so they got to bring up LeBron.
Yeah, because there's nothing else to talk about. They don't got nothing to talk about.
Again,
That's
though,
what you
like
gotta
it
do.
just
You gotta, and then when you do that though, just be prepared to be called a LeBron sexual. Be prepared to be called every derogatory word
it's typical,
to
yeah.
your manhood. Everything about your manhood will be tested once you start one putting Jordan under the same microscope or two praising today's NBA. Even if you defend Halliburton, they're gonna say, "Oh, what you a Halliburton lover? You must be zesty. You must be one of those Diddy lovers. You got baby oil for Halliburton."
I don't understand. There has to be a point where like we get not we, and I'm not talking about we. I'm talking about like the MJ fans and stuff. Like you just. But here's the irony, though, Johnny. Isn't it those kind of people that always feel like they're tired of hearing about LeBron? Like that's what I don't understand. Like why would you bring him up then? Like
No, they don't.
Who knows?
They're not. They're liars. They're liars. Remember, they asked the teacher to go to the restroom just to go walk the hallways. They're not honest people. They're not honest with themselves. Instead of sitting down and doing their work and finishing on time, they said, you know what, teacher, this is too difficult. You told me what is 6 times 9. We never did the 9 times table. I don't know what that is. Can I go to the bathroom? Then they walk the hallways. Then you got the guidance counselor and security wondering why are you in the hallways so long? There must be something wrong with you. You can't sit still in class. They can't sit still and watch a basketball game without mentioning LeBron James. They can't. They can't do it.
I get it, but it's like, dude, he's been out of the playoffs for over a month now, bro. Like, what are we doing? Like, I don't know. It's crazy, Johnny. It really is.
You know, and then you get, like you said, they never hit a game winning in the finals, whatever, blah, 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 stuff that means nothing, right? But then if you bring up the numbers like this, that LeBron James led his teams in more statistical categories than anybody else in finals history by far. Jordan led his team in statistical categories 6 times. I think, yes, no, 7 times in the finals. He did it 6 times in points and 1 time in steals. Scottie Pippen did it 6 or 7 times, same amount as Jordan.
Yeah, I think
LeBron James has led his team in either points, rebounds, assists, blocks, or steals 24 separate times in the finals. So what are we talking about?
Like,
what are we talking about?
I will say, to respond directly to Judah though, like Judah, dude, not every game requires a game winner though, bruh. Like I don't understand. Like
I was just saying that earlier.
Yeah, no, remember, Jordan is good enough to make sure the game doesn't go to a game 7, right? But he's never not good enough to not need a final shot to win a game. Remember that.
Like I was telling somebody earlier today, I was like, he don't gotta get 2 of his rings came by way of a blowout. He was celebrating on the sideline. Miami won by 16 when they beat OKC. They beat Miami by 13. He ain't even in the game, so like, why he need to hit a game winner? You think they think everybody's wins got to be close? You know how many times LeBron's team blew teams out? They blew Boston out when he had that 45 and 15 in 5 games. What are y'all talking about?
Yo, hold on, let me get this comment right here. Shout out to KJ Bryant, man. He got 2 good comments here. He said here, being a fanatic about your favorite player or team all time being made out to be a bad thing is weird as fuck. Yes, I'm so glad you said that. That's another thing that I don't understand how y'all are mad that we're basketball fans. We're fans of a team or a player. This doesn't make no sense. How are you coming to a sports sector and telling people you shouldn't like sports? Like, that doesn't make sense. Like, I mean, that's why I say you have no life. You have no life. You're looking for an argument to try to say I'm better than you. You're trying to point down at somebody as if you're high and mighty. That's why they don't like me, because I really make myself high and mighty to them, and they've never seen no one really belittle them like this. I really belittle Zesty Jeffries. They're not used to it, because when you're wearing the 6s, you're not supposed to be belittled. Then he puts some great things. He said MJ had niggas buying Hanes underwear, but called Braun fans zesty. That is the These niggas don't even wash their drawers. These niggas don't even know how to wipe their ass correct. So they had shitty stains at Hanes drawers. They were hiding from their wives because Michael Jordan
ate Wheaties. I ate Wheaties because
I think
ain't no Wheaties, man. Ain't got no raisins.
Man, listen, people I think are just too. The people nowadays, some of them are just too young to remember just how much media attention and like quote unquote Stanism Jordan got. Like it just, it's like it's.
No, they don't. Yeah, they wishy-washy. Again, I get to these special ed students don't remember what they said yesterday. They'll turn around and call you a LeBron sexual. Then in the middle of their diatribe about why Michael Jordan's the great, they'll explain why Michael Jordan was so great because of his fans and how people wanted to be him and how everybody in the world thinks he's the consensus. There's no argument. It's undeniable. He's the greatest player ever because the world says it. All the players says it. They're the first one to use popularity to make Michael Jordan the GOAT.
And look at some of these big scoring games he done had. Like, I remember when he came back, scored that 55 in the Garden. They won by 2. His last game as a Bull, he had 45. They won by 1 point. Like, if you're scoring that much, you should be blowing teams out. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
ideally.
All these close games.
Sean, let me address Sean right quick. At the end of the day, fans arguing back and forth, nothing will change. Seems like everything has become personal. Yes, it is personal. It's personal to Zesty Jeffries. It's personal to them. It's personal. You saying LeBron James is the GOAT is like you telling them they mama on crack. It's personal to
Yeah, I
them.
see
That's why
that.
they have to go back and forth with people. It's not that personal to a real basketball
Yeah,
fan. It doesn't hurt my feelings when
yeah. I was
somebody
about to
tells
say
me it doesn't. It doesn't hurt my feelings when somebody tells me Paul George is their GOAT. It doesn't hurt my feelings that Anthony Edwards thinks Kevin Durant's the greatest player he ever seen. Like, it doesn't hurt nobody. Like, you're allowed to have your opinion. The problem is that you guys think that unless you all think alike, then you must be weird. Something wrong with you. That's the problem. So at the end of the day, they're the problem. So stop making the people who are victims of Zesty Jeffries the problem. You cannot go at the victim and say, "Well, you're the victim. You were a part of it." Wow, I'm the victim. I'm the
yeah.
victim.
I don't understand. Yeah, I think the problem, the biggest problem, Johnny, with like the MJ fan zone. This is what I find kind of like crazy. Like there will literally be people that will tell you that like LeBron James, and really Judah is one of those people. He's one of those people that will tell you like LeBron James just literally just is not clutch and he can't shoot and all this. I'm like, dude, what are we doing? Like these are narratives that were literally killed like about a decade ago. Like people still bring up, and it doesn't make any sense to me. It's like, bro. This stuff has been false for like a decade, bro. Why are you still bringing that up? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it. Let me get Zero's take in right quick. Zero says, I went to Zesty Fitness and Rants, seeing them saying Throat James Kingdom. I'm like, what the fuck? I thought y'all were trying to prove we're Zesty. They call they call us Throat James Kingdom because of Young Miami. That's what he's always called us. Because again, like Lamont said, for you to even think of that term, to think about that idea, you had to automatically think about the action.
Right. That's the irony of it.
Right?
Oh,
And just to let you know again, Jared, it's not Michael Jordan fans that's the problem. It's Zesty Jeffries. You have to separate Zesty Jeffries from
it's
Michael Jordan.
extreme ones, yeah.
Yeah, they're not even really Michael Jordan because they don't even know Michael Jordan's career. You tell them about Michael, they don't know it. Michael Jordan fans know Michael Jordan's career. When we posted that video of Michael Jordan saying we have to go through LeBron to win in the East, a real Michael Jordan fan already seen that and knew where that came from. Only a Zesty Jeffrey didn't know because they don't keep up with Michael Jordan. They don't keep up with nothing what Michael Jordan do. They don't follow Michael Jordan's life and career. They only use Michael Jordan as a crux to argue with LeBron James fans about LeBron James fans. And Tyson, welcome to the party.
Yeah.
You're on the wrong channel. You should be on Goat James Kingdom as a Goat James Kingdom member watching Friday Night Exposure. I know we're live on FYF Sports Debate, but again, we were talking about the face of the league and why it's not necessary. And we were talking about the finals game 1. And now we're just talking about how Zesty Jeffries are contaminators of the basketball discourse world. They're the problems. They're the reason why we can't talk about the NBA finals in any good sense. They want to say SGA choked, but he scored 38. How you going to say he scored 38? But when I say Jordan choked scoring 27, y'all say I'm crazy. He got tunnel vision. He took 30 shots. He need to pass the ball. What?
Shit, Michael Jordan shot 2 for 22 after 3 quarters. You talk about
2 for 22.
You want to talk about 20? 2 for 22. Just in case y'all ain't hear me. That's at the end of
They said 2
quarters.
for 22. Oh wait, SGA had how many assists SGA had last night? Oh wait, let me go. Let's go to the game. I want to go to the entire game. I can't believe they want SGA to pass the ball. That's the most funny shit I've seen. I said, y'all niggas want SGA to pass? Y'all was out here being zesty as they get. All right, so he only had 3 assists yesterday, so I guess he didn't really do well. But again, there was a few shots that they missed that he got them the ball on the good possession. All I kept hearing was this talk about Kasem Wallace is one of the best defenders in the league, and he's one of the best defenders on OKC. He got torched yesterday, left and right.
Yeah, I mean,
what's the name was going there?
I mean, listen,
Nevar.
Yeah, the thing with Kasem Wallace, I don't disagree that he's a good defender. I just think he's like undersized, like with certain matchups.
Yeah, they
like,
are small.
He's not the biggest of guys. Like,
yeah,
he's a good defender, but he's not that big.
Check out Tyson, man. Shout out to Tyson. Tyson. So chat. The hell y'all talking about? The link is available to you if you want to join Tyson, man. We just listen. It's just a Friday night exposure here. We got over 700 people watching, so please make sure y'all hitting that like button, hit that subscribe button. Whether you're watching us on FYF or you're watching us on Goat James Kingdom, either way, you should be a member of both channels, supporting both channels. We are the very few channels that talk the game of basketball. truly, Lamont, I am so proud. I'm so happy I found Lamont's channel because the YouTube streets were wild. And I'm glad I found Lamont's channel. So shout out to guys like Lamont. Shout out to guys like Chilltown. Shout out to guys like Low, who do a great job breaking down the game of basketball, and they're entertaining as well. They're not, you know what I'm saying? Again, it's very hard to do play-by-play, to break down games, to show you content. Again, all you guys that are here right now, if you stay at the end of today's show, I'm going to show you guys something that I couldn't show on the show because we would get flagged for it very easily because it's from NBC. But I want you guys to see this discussion about the face of the league. In 1998, they were discussing this because Michael Jordan was on his way out of the league. They didn't know if he was going to return. So there was a discussion with David Stern on NBC, Bob Costas. It was a great discussion. It's about 15 minutes long, and we'll have a great discussion with you gentlemen. Anybody who's a GOAT James Kingdom member, just come on and hit this link. Join us now, and when the end of the show, we'll watch it together before we get up out of here, before I let you guys go, to talk about the face of the league. Because, again, the league is in great hands. We watched a great NBA Finals game. We're watching a great playoffs. We had a great NBA season. We have international stars. We have homegrown stars. We have stars that are big men. We have stars that are small guards. We got guys that are just unique in general with their physique and game style. There are so many reasons to watch the game of NBA. You don't need a face anymore. And I'm glad Adam Silver checked everybody with that. So that's what we were talking about, Tyson. What's good, brother?
Oh, salute, man. Just pulling up, man. Came to chop it with y'all guys for a little bit. Salute. What's up, gang? Yeah, man. I agree. I agree with what you guys are putting down. I agree. You don't necessarily need a star or a face. I mean, they got plenty of stars, but a face of the league. I think it is good for the NBA. Don't get me wrong. I think it's good to have that guy that you can really promote and put out there as the face, but it's not necessary. And again, like you said, that'll reveal itself after a few years. But I think with the new CBA, I do think it'll be more parity in the league. I think like we said, the years of the super teams are gone. So teams are really gonna have to get it out the mud with the draft. And GMs are more important than ever. Scouts are more important than ever. So that's all part of it. So they got to really scout these college players, and it's almost similar like football with their hard salary cap. You got to draft. You got to hit on the draft, man. You got to hit on these players, and while you got them on these rookie deals, they got to be productive and they got to contribute. And you see that with OKC. You see that with Indiana. Guys stepping up, young guys stepping up, making big shots, big plays. And that's pretty much it. That's what we're gonna see.
Yep. And I'm glad that you brought up the football aspect of it too, because another thing I noticed about with football, and I know this because of fantasy football, is that a lot of guys move around. Every year teams are alternating players, grabbing players, they're shuffling because it's hard to keep players because of the hard cap in the NFL, right? Because you get a
100%.
rookie, right? He plays well. Now he wants a big deal. You already got the quarterback who makes the most money, right? So you're right about that. And I think that's what's going to happen with the NBA, that there's going to be teams like the OKC Thunder who are not going to be able to keep all these players. And because of that, other teams are going to have opportunities to get these guys. So there's always going to be a shuffling of players. So every year, whether you like your team or not, you might have something new. Because, I mean, people are already talking about Karl Anthony Towns being traded. Right, so imagine if you were a Knicks fan, you got Karl Anthony Towns last offseason. Now you're trading him, you're bringing in somebody else. Like every year, you're going to see teams doing something different and players moving around, and that can be a piece that can help you out, like KCP going to Denver, right? You know what I'm saying? Like just little bit, or Drew Holiday going to Boston, right? Hartenstein coming to OKC, right? The things like that are going to happen a lot more, and we're going to start seeing it, like you say, with the NFL, where you have what's the biggest offseason acquisition? I forgot there was a player like that. Stephon Diggs has been on how many teams in the last 3-4 years, right?
Yeah, he's coming down towards the end of his career. So, but I get you.
Contract, right? Because of his contract, right? He has his money. He's still productive, right? Guys like Brandon Cooks, right? Look, Saquon Barkley, right? He got moved. You know what I'm saying? But even though you're still a star, you're still one of the big players. But because of the collective bargain agreement, the cap, teams just got to move players because you want to, you got a young, like you said, you got a young dude you drafted. He's it. We got to give him a contract like the 49ers. We got to pay Purdy. We got to pay him, right? So guess what? We got to get rid of Debo. Now Debo's we sent Debo to Washington. Where Debo went?
Oh, that's a good one. I haven't really gotten to football
Damn, I
yet, but
forgot. Shit,
If I'm correct, if I'm
he's
correct,
gone.
I think he did.
Yeah,
I
I think
just
we
don't
did,
know where.
I think he is in
yeah, I think we
Washington.
did get rid of Debo. So, but we had
I
to.
think what was more
Right?
important though was a guy like Fred Warner.
That's what I'm saying. But
If
we
he,
signed Fred Warner. We gave. I'm saying we gave him that extension as well. But we have to get again. We got to get rid of somebody. We got to get rid of Debo.
right,
And
exactly,
Debo's still a
Debo's in
productive player.
Washington.
Debo's going to go
right.
somewhere and sting. You see what I'm trying to say? So whoever gets
Right.
Debo gets as a fan, you're like, man, we just got Debo Samuels this year. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. So every year in the NBA, we're going to see the same thing.
Right. A great example is to me is the Seahawks when you got Russ on a rookie deal. You can pay all those great defenders. Now Russ comes up. Okay, we got to pay Russ. Now we got to get rid of Cam. Now all these guys are moving around. So and now the defense is not what it used to be. So it's going to be similar to that. When these guys make a name for themselves, having great playoff runs, these guys are going to come up for huge paydays, and they're going, like you said, they're going to go to the highest bidder as they should. They get their money, So yeah, it's going to be interesting, man. I look forward to it. I love the game, so I'm gonna be watching, and I think it's like you said, it's in a good place, man. It's in a good place.
Yeah, I like it, man. I can't like it. Shout out to Anthony Davis, the GJK member. He's been a member from like almost day one. I think only him, John, and Zero has been members longer. Shout out to you, brother. Yeah, we just having fun talking the game of basketball. We were talking about the face of the league. I just like how Adam Silver stepped up and said, listen, man, these small market teams are really great teams. The brand of basketball that they're giving us is really good. And the fact that he keeps reminding us that the NBA has billions of fans. So if you really don't like it, they don't care. They have enough. They have fans. You know what I'm saying? They really don't care no more about you testing Jeffries. They got enough people watching. I know because recently people have been asking how we've been going so viral and why we've been getting so many subs. I'm realizing, bro, we getting subs from places like from the Philippines. Like the Philippines is big. The Philippines is one of our biggest followers on Facebook because for some reason they love LeBron James. They love Stephen Curry. They love LeBron James and Michael Jordan. They argued all the time, but somehow we got viral over there, and we built a large following in the Philippines. So now we got people on the Philippines watching GOAT James Kingdom shows. So when I'm asleep, somebody's up watching GOAT James Kingdom. Like that's the NBA. You know what I'm saying? We get it all the time on GOAT James Kingdom in our Facebook group. We get the Filipinos posting about the games. The game comes on at 8:30 at night for us here on the East Coast. For them, it comes on at 8 o'clock in the morning, 8 a.m. They're up watching basketball. The NBA got fans, bro. The NBA got fans.
Yeah, definitely. They definitely. When David Stern, made that a priority of making the game global, he did a great job, and Adam Silver just carried that on. So, like you said, they got fans all across the world. I do want to give a slight pushback on the NBA. I think they do care. I think we've seen that they want to get back to more of a little bit more of a physical style basketball. I think they do want the 3-point shot not to be as and analytics are going to be what they do, and teams are going to do what they're going to do. But I think they are conscious of that and want to see the game more played, inside the arc a little bit. And obviously, 3 ball is going to be a big part, but not maybe as prominent as it has been over the last couple years.
I mean, he didn't. I mean, that's one thing. I mean, I don't. I'm not gonna say I agree or disagree because I haven't heard them really speak on game. Right, like they asked him a lot of questions about stuff. Like I said, he had a media press conference, an interview with the media before the finals. So you can go look on the internet. I was watching earlier today. I got a clip here. If you didn't get a chance to see it, we'll play it. They asked him about the stars of the league, and he talked about what the league can do to promote the stars better, and what they're trying to do for that. But I've never really heard them talk about the actual gameplay, whether fouling and traveling and things of those nature. Like they really ask him those type of questions, but from what I can tell, the same way they don't interfere with how teams hire and fire coaches or how teams acquire players and let players go. I don't think the league really concerns themselves with X's and O's and how teams are deciding on how to win and lose ball games. Like if you think you're going to shoot threes to win, No, I know, but that's what I'm saying. Like that's why I don't think I don't think they think that there's a brand of basketball that's bad. Like I think that they trust the coaching staff and the league to hire the right people to make the right decisions to innovate the league, to innovate the game. So I think they allow the innovation. So I think if the 3-pointer is what it's going to be, I don't think the league is going to go out of their way to say, okay, well, let's fix the 3-point. I think they asked them something similar to where you add a 4-point line, which I thought was kind of crazy, but I don't know if it's that crazy. That 4-point line would kind of be great, to be honest with you, but who knows? But I don't know.
That. I'm over Pierce, but go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know. But I do agree with you. I do think that they do care about the fans, but the fans that are watching, that are purchasing tickets to go to the games. Those are the ones that they really care about, and the younger people. They really care about the younger people.
Do you think it's been a push, especially this playoffs, to allow more physicality per se? Do you think that been? Are we just seeing more physicality because of schematics and how the coaches are seeing it, or the league has obviously we haven't seen them say this, but do they put a directive? All right, we're gonna allow these defensive teams to be a little more physical.
You know what? I kind of talked about that recently a few times. I think the playoffs have always been physical. I think if we go back,
I agree. But especially this playoffs, I thought.
Yeah, and I think the reason why is because when you get to the playoffs, you do have the best referees in the league who understand the players more, who understand the game a lot more. Right? They've been there for months, and they're the best referees. So they're allowing the players to play because they kind of know the players a little bit. But I also think because it's the playoffs, the players are playing a little bit harder. So it's harder for the refs to referee it because they're seeing a little bit different. For the refs, it's different. Even the referees are seeing a little bit different play from the players. They didn't see the guys doing it like you weren't doing this in February. You weren't willing to foul now. You understand what I'm saying? So it's a balance. It makes it harder for the refs. So I think that's why we see a lot more physicality in the playoffs because for one, just the style of play just changes. And for the referees itself, they're trying to adjust to all the physicality with the players. So, but I always think the playoffs are always physical, and I always think the refs do a good job in the playoffs because they're the best referees. Like yesterday's game was great. We didn't have no issues with the refs. They did a great job yesterday. There was no SGA foul baiting or none of that. It was just pure basketball. Like the refs were not involved. That's the best. When the refs are not involved, when you didn't even mention a referee, that's the best. That's the best time for a sport. So I don't know. I just think we just seen the best basketball, Tyson. I know a lot of people say that there's no physicality, but I mean, even back in 2020, remember when LeBron was going to the lane and Tyler Hero was chasing him, and LeBron just elbowed the shit out of him. Tyler Hero went flying. They didn't call a foul. They didn't call nothing. Like to a certain degree, they let people play physical. I always watch that. Like I always tell people, they always play physical in the playoffs. Always. They always.
I agree.
They
I
just
agree.
try
I
to
agree.
hurt each other.
Go ahead.
Yeah, they play physical. They just don't try to hurt each other purposely.
But they never tried to hurt each other, bro. These guys have always been friends, bro. They were never trying to hurt each other. When Karl Malone smacked the crap out of Isaiah Thomas, he wasn't trying to hurt Isaiah Thomas. He was trying to send a message, but he wasn't really trying to do all that. Like it just happened. Like you know what I'm saying? It's a.
And he apologized to him for it too.
He did. But again, back then that's how the game was played because again you had the Frank Bukowskis out there. What else is Frank Bukowski gonna do besides throw an elbow?
Hold on, Karl Malone was dirty because in the same series he elbowed David Robinson in the head. He knocked him out, and then he kicked Tim Duncan in the head.
Karl Malone wasn't doing that shit to Alonzo. He wasn't doing that shit to other big motherfuckers. He know to do that shit too. They all be knowing. They all know. Draymond never tried that shit with Ron Artest.
Nah,
he never tried that shit with Zach Randolph. Right? But Rudy Gobert, that motherfucker yoked Rudy Gobert up in a split second.
Yeah, he should back smack Nurkic.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Did the Frenchman like that?
He kicked Steven Adams in the nuts. The Frenchman stepped on Sabonis. But maybe Draymond just be like, "Oh, y'all dudes is soft." Like he stepped on Sabonis' chest. Like, who you man? Take that.
No, again, the reason that the 90s and the 80s, and again, it was just more physical brand of basketball because you just had a lot of guys that was their job to just be bruisers, just be physical, because the game was played in a specific manner. right? So if you were not big enough to handle the physicality, you stayed away from it. All the bruising happened inside the paint. There wasn't no fighting outside. When we watched the people fighting, it wasn't small guards fighting. It was the big guys because they're the ones who elbowing and pushing each other. It wasn't until we got to the night.
Chris Child say otherwise.
Yeah, I'm saying it wasn't until we got to the 90s and we started seeing Reggie Miller. We started seeing Reggie Miller and Jordan
Reggie
fights.
Miller.
I mean, we were talking about it the other day with King Speech Row, and he was talking about the PJ Brown incident, and we were telling him like, yeah, what the fuck was Charlie Ward doing? Like, get the hell out of here, bro. What is wrong with you? Get out of here.
Flip him with one arm. Get out of here.
Get out of here, bro. What are you doing? Like,
he was 6'4". He was saying, yeah, that's what I do to little niggas. Yeah,
and I can attest to this because I'm slim, bro. I'm as skinny as they get. They call me slim. I'm a frail dude. I'm very skinny. And when I used to get on the basketball court versus some dude that was 250 pounds, the first thing he used to tell me was like, yo, get your little ass out of here. And I used to be like, no, I'm still going to box you out. And they used to get mad at me trying to box him out. Now, mind you, I'm not moving him for shit. The guy's too strong. But I still got to do something. I can't just let you stand there. So I got to do something. But they would get mad at me all the time and hit me. That's where the physicality came in. When you was a guard, you weren't trying to go to no paint. Michael was. And that's why Michael got hit a lot. Because you're not supposed to go to the paint, bro. Stick out there and shoot your jumper. Jordan was like, I can't do this. I can't shoot this. I'm going to miss. Let me get to the basket. They going to call it back?
No, the 90s had some tough guys. Don't get me wrong. You know, Isaiah Thomas, in the 80s, getting to the bucket, but then he had, like you said, he had the guys to back him up. He had the Rick Mahorns and John Sallies and them type of dudes to, if you go after my guy, we about to, do some damage. So it was all a balance, and that was just a necessity of the game. But it's not no more. Period.
But the physical teams of the 90s, it was a detriment to them. The Knicks, the Detroit Pistons eventually fell away because being physical was not going to win you any games in the 90s. You had to be more of a finesse team. You look at the teams who won in the 90s, they were more finesse team. The Chicago Bulls were a finesse team. Even the Rockets were a finesse team. We're talking about Akeem Olajuwon and his moves. He wasn't backing you down, bruising you, dunking over you. He was doing the shimmy shake and, footwork and shooting outside three-pointers and things like that. Forget about the second three-point Bulls was basically the future of the NBA. They were playing space offense, ball movement, creating a lot of jump shots and hitting them, transition defense. So that was, so that was what you had, when you're talking about the 90s. Those teams like the Knicks, what other teams I could bring up in the 90s? Detroit Pistons, the Milwaukee Bucks, the Miami Heat. They all lost being too physical, getting suspensions in the playoffs because they wanted to be tough. What other teams in the 90s we could say was physical teams? Even when you bring up teams like the Seattle Supersonics. That was a finesse team, bro. When you talk about, Sam Perkins and Hersey Hawkins and Def Left Shrimp, these guys were perimeter shooters, man. These guys were lights out from the outside.
But the Knicks had to take advantage of what they had. They didn't have those type of skilled players. You know what I'm saying? They had the physical guys, so they had to take advantage, and they did well doing it. They didn't win anything. They won something, but they didn't. They obviously win the big. But you know what I'm saying? But they were a good team in the 90s. You know what I'm saying? They were good at what they did, so they had to take advantage of, the players they had on the floor. They didn't have those type of Hakeem Olajuwons and deadlift shrimps. They had bruisers and Oakleys and goddamn John Starks who couldn't hit the side of a barn. And you feel me?
That's what Pat was going for. Pat Riley. Those are the type of players Pat Riley was going for. The Williamses and the Kurt Thomases, and like he just likes those. Even in Miami, he does the same thing in Miami. The Hightowers, the Jaquez Juniors, the Lon Wrights of the world. Like they just like we remember we drafted Patrick Beverly.
Right. Don't do Patrick like that, man. Don't do Patrick. Hey, he had a long career in the NBA, man.
When I say, hey, if you had thought of a team that would have drafted Patrick Beverly, you would not be shocked if the Miami Heat was a team that drafted Patrick Beverly.
No, them dudes had their place in their time, man, and I respect it. You know what I'm saying? I don't disrespect it, but it's a new day. We need some skills out here, man. We need somebody to stretch the floor. We need somebody.
Tell me, you knew Nembhard had that in his toolbox. Please tell me you did, because I never knew it, bro. I did not know Nembhard had that in his bag, bro. Like for
That's
real?
the thing, though. That's the thing, though, bro. A lot of these guys got that in their bag. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these guys got that in their bag now. You know what I'm saying? You get a player come off the bench, you know, in some cleanup time, he might hit a move like that. You'd be like, "Oh, who was that?"
And
You know what I'm saying?
he didn't do that against no scrub. He did that against SGA.
That's right.
No. He could.
He did
He
that
could.
against somebody.
He did that against somebody
That happens to
in the moment, in the big moment.
Happens to everybody.
Yeah. So yeah, these guys is
today's NBA happens to a lot of guys. Of course, yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. But like I said, just think about Nembhard. Nembhard is nowhere near like the top 100 player in the league. He is, you know what I'm saying? And like that was big time. Like that wasn't something that he just thought of, man. He knew he could do that. He knew what he was doing. It was like I said, that lets you know how much these guys work on their craft, how much they work on their game, and why we always say, man, they're just supremely skilled. Because they couldn't bring up the ball with Halliburton, but guess who's bringing up the ball? Nembhard.
Right. No, and that's the thing. That's the thing that makes these teams great. These guys that can beat multiple, man. These specialists, it can't be on the floor no more. Isaiah Joe can't get minutes no more in this series. He come out here getting hunted by TJ McConnell. We can't have you on the floor, bro. I'm sorry.
Oh man, hey, TJ McConnell is the Mark Price of today's NBA,
bro. He was getting Isaiah Joe in ISO and taking him to the bucket, bro. We can't have that, bro. Just because you're gonna make 2 threes in the game, no, bro. Sorry, we're gonna play Wiggins and some other cats because you gotta, with the pace, you gotta get some players in there. But Isaiah Joe, you're going to sit your ass down.
I mean, they went deep into it. They put Mitchell on the floor. H.I. Mitchell.
They didn't put Mitchell. I ain't never seen him. Who?
Mitchell. H.J. Mitchell. That's what I was saying too. I was like, wow. So, maybe Dagenhar panicked. Maybe he pushed the button that he didn't have to push. I don't know. I thought the 2 big man lineup would be a problem for him, and I guess he feels the same way. So he didn't even attempt it. He didn't even attempt to have Chet and Holmgren on the floor at the time. He didn't even try to do it.
Do you think they'll go back to that in game 2? I doubt it. I think that the adjustments they need to make are minor. I don't think it was that bad. I think and it's just me spitballing. I think the layoff, a lot of those shots that J-Dub were taking are in his wheelhouse, bro. And he was just off. He was just not knocking him down. He was missing middies. He was missing, and I was talking. I was on FYF earlier, and I'm like, bro, is this dude that bad at the rim? He's not that bad, right? This dude was horrible at the rim last night. J-Dub.
No, he was. That's what I talked about. I said how there was some times they got him some good shots and it just didn't fall in for them. So again, I think they could play better offensively, but the question is, are they going to be as good as they were defensively? Because they played great defensively yesterday. They really did, bro. Even like I said, SGA played good defense on them hard. That was just a great shot. Like it wasn't like they wasn't. It wasn't like how it was with the Knicks, where you was like, yo, why did you not step up on that shot? Like they played good defense. It's just that these guys just made the shot. They just made the shots, and that's the difference. But again, I'm more worried about them defensively. Can they match that same intensity? If not, take it to another notch, because we know the paces are going to slow down a little bit so that they can not have all those turnovers, bro. That was the key to the game. And that's why I think, to be honest with you, I think the Pacers are going to take a 2-0 lead. I don't know what Dagenhar could do.
I don't like that.
Scheme-wise,
I think they're going to play a lot better offensively.
I think because the 2 big man lineup, they're going to lose badly.
Yeah, I think they're going to play a lot better offensively. They should have been up 25 in that first half. They should have been up, at least 20 in that first half with all those turnovers and the way they was. And I agree, they're not going to force so many turnovers. I think Indiana has settled in, realized, like you said, adjusted to the physicality, adjusted to these guys swiping at the ball and different things like that. So I think the turnovers are gonna go down, obviously. But I think that OKC was a shell of itself offensively.
Yeah. Listen, I've never seen a team with active hands like OKC. I think the closest I can say is the Chicago Bulls with Jordan and Harper and Rodman and Pippen. They had great hands, but they didn't have too much activity, right? As much. It seems like it doesn't matter. Like I said, it's not just the simple. It's not just the passing, the stealing the pass or stealing your dribble. Like they steal the ball from behind. They strip your layups. Like it's like their hands are all over the place, and it's like
amazing.
It's just amazing. I've never seen it before. I'm thinking of the Iverson team with him and Eric
Sixers.
They were kind of good at it with him, Snow,
McKee.
They were kind of good at it there. With Lynch, George Lynch was also a good defender. I'm thinking of the Heat a little bit, right, with Chalmers and LeBron and Wade. But they still wasn't as good.
Not
as
like that. No,
man, they were stripping your dribble. Dwayne Wade and LeBron were good at the passing lanes, but these dudes are stripping your dribble. They're stripping you're dribbling up the court, and all of a sudden somebody from behind pokes it out. You're like, what the hell? Where did he come from? Like I said, they just do these things that I've never seen before, bro. It's this like that's why I'm excited to look for Game 2 to see how they keep that going and how the Pacers adjust to them, because they're going to force some more turnovers. We just got to see what they do with it.
I said they really play offense on defense. They're really offensive on defense. Like if you turn your back, that double team is coming. You know what I'm saying? They not like a lot of teams double, like you said, to get the ball out of your hands and force it to somebody they think is a less of a player or can't make decisions out of it. They really double teaming to create steal opportunities. They really, you know what I'm saying? Like
they really
it's really like Edward said. They play like an AAU style defense where we come in. I remember I was playing All Stars, and it was in like Palm or 29 Palms out in California, and we faced this team with two twin guards who was like I'm like 5'7" at the time. And they had these two twin guards at the top of their 2-3 zone, and they was like 6 foot, and they was monsters, bro. Athletic, they was monsters. And I was the point guard. I'm dribbling the ball at the court, man. I'm shaking in my boots, bro. These dudes, every time I put the ball on the floor, they everywhere, bro. I'm trying to make a pass. Right? They got they longer than me, pause. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to make a pass. They knocking down my pass. I'm like, bro, and that reminded me of OKC. Like it's really a torture chamber for a lot of these guards, but like you say, Indiana has some guards that can counteract that as well. So
yeah, they got again. I didn't know how good. I knew Nimhard was their other ball facilitator when Halliburton's on the floor outside of McConnell. So I knew that he was good at that, but I didn't know he had all that yesterday. That was a complete shock to me. I was like, wow, that was a complete shock. I knew again, Naismith was a good 3-point shooter, catch and shoot guy, physical on the defensive side. And they did a good job on the boards. I know some people say that was because OKC went without Chet and Hartenstein for the game. But still, I thought Lou Dort did good on the boards. I thought Jalen Williams did a good job crashing the boards. I thought Caruso did a good job crashing the boards. But it just looked like the Pacers just played good enough to win. And again, if you've been watching these playoffs, that nothing about yesterday was a shock. It was just this is what the Pacers do. This is what they do.
It was a shock to me. I'm not gonna lie, only because we seen them do it against them teams, but it was surprising to me, and I'm not speaking for everybody, for them to walk OKC down like that. Because like Lamont was saying, they quelled those runs by getting to the free throw line. They quelled those runs by making a big shot and their defense. So. A lot of the other teams in there that play, you're like, okay, yeah, they walked the Knicks down, okay, you know what I'm saying? They walked this team down, okay, but to see them do that to OKC was a little bit of a shock to me. When I saw them up 16 and that lead they had going into the fourth, I thought they would be able to hold that down because of their style of play, because of their defense, and because they get to the free throw line to stop those runs.
Yeah, in the last 9:32 of the fourth quarter, Indiana outscored OKC 33-16.
Which is crazy to me.
Where the fuck did Lamont pop up? What's up, Lamont? I just noticed that. What's good, man?
Hey.
What's good, Lamont? Go ahead, brother. What's got for us?
How crazy would it be, man? Like, we looking at a reality where, I mean, it's very low likelihood, but if the Pacers win the championship, that like blows up the matrix a kind of a little bit, because it goes against everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everything.
It goes against everything.
It goes against the
Lamar, if they
narrative,
win, I'm calling in to Meltdown Sports. I guarantee you, I'm doing it. If they win the championship, I'm gonna call him and I'm gonna explain to Mel, why did you say your silliness about ball facilitators don't win anything, only shooters and scorers? Now, what do you have to say for yourself? You put this in your own mouth. You talk this to your own self because it's about to happen. They're gonna go up 2-0.
And the biggest thing about it, the funniest thing about it, is that the Pacers represent everything that this era is about. Like
teamwork.
The pace, the 3-point shooting from all positions, right? Because they don't win that game without Toppin and Miles Turner making threes. Like everything that old school basketball has been against, the Pacers do the opposite. And it's just crazy to see, man.
You know what? Now that you say that, Lamar, you know what's another thing that I noticed about the Pacers, and I didn't notice this until that dude Jordan from PC said it on one of his posts that I ran across, and he talked about how Halliburton and them they jump pass a lot, like they that's like a big no-no. It's like a big no-no in basketball, but Halliburton does it a lot. And yesterday, there was several moments where they picked up their dribble. I was like, why are you picking up your dribble? They got a couple of travel calls because they picked up their dribble and obviously took too many steps. And then there was other ones where they jumped up like with Toppin and threw the ball out of bounds or had a bad pass. They do a lot of things that the traditional basketball person would drive you crazy, but they, like you said, it's today's NBA. But
you know what I like about the Pacers, which I don't think nobody took note of this. They intentionally have Neimarhard and Halliburton do the jump passes, but when OKC took the passing lanes away, they would just throw the ball in the backcourt and throw it out of bounds, just so it'd be a dead ball turnover. Like they intentionally made it so if they screwed up, y'all gonna have to come back and still get it the hard way. Yeah, y'all not getting no live ball turnovers. That's gonna be transition. We're gonna set up our defense and we just gonna reset and do this again. And that's why a lot of the turnovers weren't turning into points because it wasn't transition.
9 points over 19 turnovers.
Look at what they do when they about to turn the ball over. They'll just throw the ball out of bounds. They won't let you get in transition. It'll be a dead ball turnover.
That's very interesting. I you know what? I didn't notice that. I know there was, like I said, there was a couple of players like, why do you make that pass? And then, like you said, but the ball went out of bounds. So guess what? We got inbound it. So now we can set up our defense.
Yeah, you set your defense up. And that's just them trusting it. Like he knows they're gonna make mistakes, but as long as it's not a live ball turnover, if you take away transition from OKC, and I've been saying this all playoffs, they don't look like a very good half court team because they rely on SGA to do everything. That's the problem.
Yeah, and I always, I thought about that going into this series. I was thinking about the playmaker thing, right? Because I think that's what kind of hurt Minnesota. They really don't have a real playmaker. Like they don't have one guy that can really get their offense going and find the right shot, the right moments, the right pace, all of that. And I was like, well, SGA is really a good lead guard. He's really not bad, but he's just so elite as a scorer. How does that, how would that correlate with him having to make his other teammates be involved? Because, Herm came on and Herm said something good about how early in the game, he never got his teammates involved. So late in the game, they were never in rhythm enough to make the little shots that they were missing. And we always talk about LeBron. LeBron always says that he always like to go to his teammates early, get them involved so that he can use them later in the game when it's his time to cook. So I do think you have a point there, but I mean, SGA is really not that bad. There were a couple of plays we pointed out here that they just missed the shot on. He got the right pass. He made the right play. The guy missed the shot.
But that's the part of it right there. Like the only one that can really shoot really well in the half court is Dort.
And Joe.
Yeah, and Isaiah Joe was unplayable because he got there getting barbecued.
Isaiah Joe was horrible.
So what I'm saying is, like, think about it. When they having their runs, it's because Caruso and them is getting out in the open court, and
that's true. I mean, they got a lot of the defense.
J-Dub, I'm starting to quit. I mean, and he hasn't had a really good. He's been inconsistent. He has some good games. He has some bad games. But J-Dub as their secondary scorer playmaker is looking shaky.
I don't know about that, but he's gonna be 23, bro. We got guys. We got to
No,
give him some.
I'm saying this right now. I'm saying right now. I'm not saying he's bad for the future. I'm saying right now.
Yeah, I mean, he had some shots that they normally make, but the Pacers do that to you because again, you're worrying about so much with the Pacers. That's what makes the Pacers so crazy because you don't know what they're doing when they're doing it, so you always have to figure out what's going on. They got you on your P's and Q's, and then if you slip, you know what I'm saying? It's like in Miami. I remember Iguodala was saying this that when he came to Miami. That he said he liked the culture. He said, but it was too rigid in Miami. He was like Duncan Robinson. Like if he missed a 3-pointer, he would like be really down on himself. And he was like, why? Like you know what I'm saying? Like you're gonna make or miss him. And he was like, nah, I gotta make it because of the attitude and the pressure of being on the Heat. And that's what the Pacers do to you. They put pressure on you. If I miss the shot, are they gonna run down and score? You know what I'm saying? Or if I don't get to this, or they, you know what I'm saying? Like if I don't get this rebound, are they gonna do this? Like they make you worry every part of the game. Like they really do. Like they're crazy. That's a crazy team, bro. That's just I don't know.
I think Carlisle is going to ultimately inspire more NBA teams hiring college coaches because he's treating his team like a college team. He's figured out how to coach young players. He's cracked the code because, like I said, like remember we all saw that shot yesterday. Neimark don't take that shot if the coach ain't put the confidence in him. That's the coldest shot of the year. That is, bro. That
not only put the confidence.
Think people understand how cold that shot was.
Lamont, do you know how much film you had to watch to know he has that? That's the point.
Oh my God.
That's the point. So forget giving him the confidence to take it. The fact that you gave him the confidence is because you done went and did your research yourself and saw him do it before. Like how many people can tell you they see Nembhard do that? Right?
I didn't even see him do that at Gonzaga. I didn't even see him do that in college.
Who was his teammates at Gonzaga?
OKC's playing stupid. So the only way OKC stops the Pacers, they got to now abandon what they made them successful. They got to stop doubling in the paint so much. They're going for every steal. They're going for every single steal in the paint, and they're getting barbecued.
I don't know, but I mean, I see what you're saying, Lamont. I just don't know that you abandon what you've been doing. The rotations still were good. I feel like they had some bad closeouts. Chet's been horrible in closeouts all playoffs. He jumps too much at those 3-point ball fakes, and then he's just out there leaving his team 4-on or 5-on-4. So I think they need to close out a little better, but I wouldn't abandon. Their rotations are good. They still staying connected. I just think Indiana got on made some tough shots at times too. So I think it was I wouldn't panic yet, bro. I wouldn't panic yet.
Bro, you have to panic because the Pacers are playing too fast, and that's not stopping.
Yeah, it doesn't change when McConnell comes in.
You have to win 4 games. You have to win 4 games.
Right.
One game is bad.
So you want them to stop? So
that's 25% of the series.
That's what I'm saying. But you can't just say, hey, you can't just say, okay, we're good because you really not.
No. You lost by one. You had a great first half. Second half was not even the third quarter was that bad. You had a horrible fourth quarter. I just don't think you go away from your defensive principles right now. And that's my opinion. And I could be wrong.
But Tyson, how many times, right, do we talk when we have these conversations, especially about the Lakers, where we talk about coaches not making adjustments? If they come out in game 2 and do the same thing, and let's say to this game, the Pacers don't start out nervous like they did in game 1, and they come out on a burner, and you're looking at an 0-2 deficit. When do you make the adjustments? When you're down 0-2?
No, I see what you're saying, and I think there's some minor adjustments to be made, but I wouldn't go as far as to say stop crashing. You know what I'm saying? Stop, because I feel like they had the athleticism and things to rotate. We've seen that all playoffs.
So how do you defend the 3-point line?
Team. Granted. I give you that. This is a different team, and they got multiple guys that can put it on the deck. You know what I'm saying? And get to their spots, do what they do. So when they are in rotation, the Pacers are taking a little bit more of advantage of it. But at the same time, like I said, close out a little better. Stick to the principles. For me, and we'll see. Well, I understand your points. They are fair points.
But for a team to go back to the turnovers, for a team to have 19 turnovers, and you're missing shots on top of that, so you only get 9 points off of 19 turnovers, and you still get out rebounded on the defensive end by 7. Indiana was +7 on the defensive boards at halftime, and they coming from OKC misses. So I don't really think they was really that great offensively outside of SGA.
That's what I'm saying. To me, the problem was more offensively than defensively. So to abandon the principles defensively and now open up different stuff. Now Halliburton may be able to get in the lane and do his stuff. Now you allowing him to get off because you're not crashing. You know what I'm saying? I just don't think that's the formula.
Tyson, check this out, Tyson. Check this out. Think about it like this, and I tell my team this all the time. If OKC turns 5 of the 3s that Indiana made in the 2s, who wins the game?
I'm sorry, one more time?
If OKC turns 5 of the 3s that Indiana made into 2s, who wins the game?
I understand your point, but I don't necessarily think
you
that's
got to
right.
abandon the philosophy that you're down. So basically, look at it like this. Like Johnny said, you're down 25% right now, and you're looking at being down 50%. And you don't want to go back into Indiana. They're already going to go back into Indiana at least 1-1. You don't want to go back to Indiana 0-2. All I'm saying is you have to now go into full on desperation mode right now, because I keep telling y'all, Indiana right now, just with this one win, they've surpassed every imaginable goal that they could have had this season. They are exceeded expectations. Everything that they do now is all icing on top. And they really looking to try to win. They can't screw around.
Yeah,
right?
And the confidence level, that this is the key thing, right? It was one thing for us to believe nobody could beat up Mike Tyson. It was one thing for Customato and his training staff and for him to believe nobody could whoop Mike Tyson's ass. But if you was going into the fight Mike Tyson and you believe that, you were out. So all this, how much longer is OKC going to stay confident with what everybody's saying everything about the Pacers? The Pacers believe in themselves. The fan base believes in the Pacers. So now we've got to say to ourselves, does OKC think the same thing we're all thinking? And like Lamont said, you can't be just thinking, oh, I got this. You just can't. Like you
relax. Hey, Johnny, it's one game. Relax. Y'all going crazy up here.
Trust me, I can guarantee you he didn't relax, because if he was relaxed, he would have started Hartenstein and Chet like he's been doing all year.
No. He came up with a game. No. He came up with a game plan. He saw the guy with the No. That's not panicking. That's looking at the film.
Before he had to make the adjustment.
No, he didn't. He came into. He realized
they made that decision right before the game
against this team and against the way they shoot and spread the floor, and everybody on the floor is a shooter. He came up with a plan. Now Hartenstein and Chet wasn't the best. That was not panicking or changing philosophy. That's all that was making an adjustment and seeing that we got to have some more defense on the floor and some guys that are more mobile. That's all that was.
Tyson, out of every team that we've seen play, out of every team that we've seen play this year, what team, out of all the crazy teams we've seen play this year, the Pacers is the only team crazy enough to where I honestly believe these fools can actually win game 2. That's the craziest thing about it.
You can believe what you want, but that don't mean it's gonna happen.
Hey Tyson, I'll take the Pacers in 5 points. I'll take the Pacers in 5 points.
Ooh.
What? You take who?
I'll take Indiana in 5 points on the spread.
Wow. Go ahead. You can run that with Vegas. You're gonna get better odds than you got with me. You can run that in Vegas and you're gonna get way better odds you're gonna get with me. You're gonna get 2-1 and all that. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
And with that being said,
you ain't gotta take my money. Vegas handed it out.
Look, and with that being said, this is where GJ can end the show, because it gets real zesty once people start making bets. Lamar should know we don't do no betting. But listen, Lamar, I want you to stay, please. I know you probably got something to do, but I want you to watch this. I've seen it before, but I want to end the show. I'm gonna do my outro, and y'all brothers stay here. I want y'all to watch this clip about David Stern sitting with Bob Costas and some NBA players like Tim Duncan and Kobe. You've probably seen it before, but it's a very good discussion. I can't show it because obviously we'll be flagged for it, so I'm gonna leave y'all on. We're gonna end the show right quick. Let me
I wish I could stay, man. I got to get to work though. Punch this
right,
clock,
so
but y'all have a good one, man. Stay blessed.
I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Tyson. Thank you so much. So again, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Friday Night Exposure with the Exposer. We're having a great show as we were talking about the NBA, the face of the league, and how basically David Stern does not care about Zesty Jeffries and their logic anymore. He says the league is in good hands, and he's going to continue to show you guys that the NBA is going to grow and get better. And we just got to appreciate the game for what it is. And if you're a real fan, you have no reasons to not watch it because it's great basketball. And obviously, you have no reason not to watch us here in GOAT James Kingdom because we do great content like the Friday Night Exposure. We are live right now on FYF Sports Debate. So please support both channels, including the third channel, FYF Sports Debate Clips. That is another channel that Lamont runs. That channel has a membership. You can support it by becoming a member of that channel. Support us by becoming a member of our channels. So that's 3 channels you should be subscribed to by the end of tonight. And again, like we always told you here in GOAT James Kingdom, we go live Sunday noon Eastern time for the GOAT James Kingdom show with B. Lee and A. Johnny. We don't play games. We open up the panel for the GOAT debate. We don't run from the GOAT debate. We actually attack the GOAT debate head on. The channel and everything that we do, our whole content creation premise is GOAT talk. So we're going to continue to do it every Sunday noon Eastern time right here on GOAT James Kingdom, also live on FYF Sports Debate. Not to mention Saturday nights we have the Radar Show. The fellas should be back tomorrow with the Radar. They're going to be talking football, I believe, on the Radar Show as football season's upon us, coming up around. So check out the Radar Show right here on the GOAT James Kingdom channel. It starts at 9 p.m. Eastern right here on GOAT James Kingdom channel. If you hit the ring notification, you'll know exactly when we put the live up. And also Wednesday nights, we continue to add our content and continue to grow. We got Alan Powell's show on the GJK channel. Al is a Michael Jordan fan. He's a Chicago Bulls fan. He likes baseball. He likes golf. He likes hockey. He likes all sports, and they talk it all there. They don't just talk basketball. So if you like great sports content from great brothers who are true fans, check out the Alan Powell show every Wednesday night right here on the GOAT James Kingdom platform. And like I said, ladies and gentlemen, please become a GOAT James Kingdom member. Support what we do, as we are always going to continue to do great things. Also, we got Sunday night. Lamont, are we doing this debate before Sunday's game?
What time is the game Sunday?
8:30. 8 or 8:30, 8 o'clock. That's 5 p.m.
Yeah.
Okay, because I'm not gonna be available because I'm doing my live streams. Like I said, we're doing a live stream right here on GOAT James Kingdom, play by play. If you don't like Doris Burke and Richard Jefferson commentating on the games, come right here on GOAT James Kingdom. You get live and straight up hood talk about the game of basketball. So that's what we do here. So again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me here on the Friday Night Exposure with the Exposer. I'm gonna get up out of here. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Peace and blessings.
You have now been exposed by the Exposer. Welcome to GOAT James Kingdom, where basketball lives forever. You get to enjoy BB and A. Johnny talk basketball every Sunday noon Eastern time right here on the GOAT James Kingdom channel. Support by subscribing, and also check out the membership at GOAT James Kingdom.